What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 55 of the XtraSlice, brought to you by the Cheesy Controller Podcast. I'm your host, Anton LaPlatte. Joining me, as always, we have the mayor of Stardew Valley and Eorzea, Chris Montalbano.
Resident Evil is giving me a giant woman.
We got the most degenerate squid in the sea, Jalen Roberts.
I'm not saying I want her to pick me up and throw me around, but tell your daughters to give me a call.
And I got the Akatsuki Durag, Madrid Devon.
I hate to call you out, but you made a mistake, bro. It's actually $199.
Yeah, $199.
Oh, also,
55.
where's the checks, Joe? Where are the checks?
All right, and joining us for the first time, we have the OK Beast himself, IanWhyNot.
Hello. So I don't have a witty banter thing, but I'm gonna tell you right now, that 9-foot-tall lady, she can do like a cool spiral dunk, and that awakens something primal in me. I don't know why.
It's a nice little soup.
Like if your girl can hit rim, that's something different. You know what I mean? That hit different.
We got a jam-packed episode for you guys this week. We're going to be talking about Apex Season 8, Control, Gearbox getting bought, EA College Football coming back, and the Mass Effect Collection. Woo. Chris was like, oh, wait. There's actually a story in here that speaks to me directly. Other than Resident Evil.
Yeah.
This has been really Chris-centric lately. I always have to go and be like, all right, just so Chris doesn't sit here in shock and awe of the things that are being spewed around him. Like, what can I enthuse him with?
Yes, more Monster Hunter information. I just can't wait.
We're going to get you
That's
one
what
of
my
these
wife
days,
says
Chris.
whenever I talk to her.
I really don't think it's happening.
It's gonna happen.
You know,
it's gonna happen with the next Resident. No, it's gonna happen with the next Resident Evil collab. Instead of hunting a tyrant, it's gonna be latent infantry.
I mean, actually,
It's gonna be her evolved form where her titties turn to tentacles.
fuck it.
I mean,
let's
she's
go.
9 feet.
Doesn't
She's
change
taller
my
We
than
all
a
know we're gonna have to
CC
kill her at
Yakuza.
least 4 times. That's a tyrant class. You have to kill them at minimum 4 times per game.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, again, I don't care what the tentacle situation is. If they can hit rim, I don't care. Again, if you can do a spiral dunk, it's something different.
Teacher Sama, why are you here? Ethan.
Look, I'm just saying, she's gonna hit you with one
no.
of them camera throws, man. Be careful.
Oh, no.
I just see the, like, execution, like the Loba finisher, but with her, just... You can't even see her, because when she's stepping on your neck, you just can't see past her boobs to see the face.
Like, you know when like a video game comes out and it's like you get really mad because you're like, oh, it's the spoilers, last cutscene of video game or whatever. That's not going to happen with this game. No one, I can bet me right now, no one cares about that story at all. It's going to be like, compilation, best times Big Mommy killed me. Like, it's just going to be that, like, 100 different ways. Like,
Oh, no,
and it's going to be like speedrunners.
Don't forget, she has goth daughters, so you're going to get a couple of compilations of them too. You can't forget that.
100%. 100%. It's going to be speedrunners at like
we got our
AGDQ.
tall
Like,
vampire
all right.
lady. We got our more human-sized goth witches. Like,
Are they? How tall are they? No one's talking about that. Are they like 6'3"?
they can fly, so
Boo.
that's adjustable.
Boo.
They can fly. That's
They can
adjustable.
fly?
That's fine.
Oh, okay. Then they can still hit rim. That's fine.
They're probably
That
various
satisfies me.
sizes, you know? Wait, why are we talking about rim jobs?
I don't believe it. No comment. I don't want to be on the list.
You know? Hey, this is a game with the pegging scene, so fuck it. Let's go.
There is? I didn't unlock that DLC. That's new.
You gotta buy the $100
speedrun the
edition
game.
and speedrun that.
Yo, I'm going to tell you right now, that would be a wild turn of events. If they were like, because you know how the director was like, in the very Japanese polite way, like, we are very excited for all of you to know about this new character. She's almost 10 feet tall. And then he looked at the camera, he's like, we got you, boys. Like, can you imagine if it was like the collector's edition gets announced and it's like, this one's for you guys. You're not going to want to miss it. Wink. And it's like, it just opens up like those like Skyrim modded things that like are like, it's like what's that YouTube series? Like Lover's Lab or some shit where it's like, it's just a sex mini game. That's it. No game included. Just a whole different DLC
like
content.
Snoo.
Yep. That's it. Oh no, they're fucked when this game comes to PC,
Oh, no, it's
dude.
gonna get
Oh
worse.
no.
The first thing you're gonna see is, "I'm sorry, Ethan. I know we stole your daughter. Would you like to make another one?" That's the first thing you're gonna hear.
Oh no, dude! I
mean,
made this
he
joke
is
when the
newly
news first came
single,
out.
So
I mean,
appreciate you, Chris.
I'm just saying. But here's the thing. So when I got RE on PC, RE2, the first thing that you do when you go to the workshop or whatever, or the DLC things, it's like people like replace the fucking Mr. X with like Thomas the Tank Engine and like a dragon and then another Chris or something. But like then halfway through that game cycle, people got real horny and they were like, "What if he was in his underwear?"
The third one was you're being chased by Mr.
Maybe
X.
maybe I jumped in
like
after it happened. Maybe I jumped in after it happened, but like I swear that's where this game came from. They were like, people are really putting a whole lot of underwear on the Mr. X guy. What if we just, hey guys, can you make that into the next game? we can do that? All right, boys, we got it. Like, we got the next game ready.
No, my favorite thing is
Chris,
still Monster Hunter, where they have like the handler is Mr. X, and he's just pulling out like the ham and shit. I'm like, yo, this is peak fiction right here.
I'm really surprised we didn't get Chris with that collaboration. I think it was just too high of a bar of entry. Like, he would have had to play too
late
much
in the game.
vanilla Monster Hunter to get to the point to do the Resident Evil stuff, because that was like mid Iceborne. You had to fight a Black Veil Valhazak for that.
You had to fight a what?
I don't even know what that means, and I don't want to do it.
It's surprisingly Resident Evil. It's probably the most Resident Evil monster I think I've ever hunted is a Black Veil Valhalla.
If you take a lizard, give it the Resident Evil classic flesh melty look, that's about it.
Does it have giant nails that stab you? Because that's literally every.
No,
that was your clutch claw.
It's more bad breath. It's more bad breath. Think it's more bad breath. Like
bad
what you
breath
call it.
special
like poison.
beam cannon.
Like not a hunter. They have giant claws.
No, I mean it has
I
giant
think,
claws. I mean it's like a 15-foot dragon.
Oh, okay. Oh. Bad breath too.
Okay.
Acid breath, like a Ferrari
Yeah,
3
except
zombie.
it's
or whatever they're
it's called
called or
miasma because
Yeah.
we're.
Yeah, and the Black Veil is
My
covered in
asthma.
My asthma.
the Black Veil is covered in shrooms that drop s'mores. Not s'mores, spores.
Speaking, so I know
That sounds like a good ass time.
So I know we don't want to talk too much about Monster Hunter to make sure that Chris doesn't literally just leave the room.
done
But
already.
I was on the wiki the other day. I was talking with somebody who played World fairly recently with the release of Iceborne. And someone, like, as we're talking about it, the person goes, "Yo, there's a lot of lizards in that game." I'm like, "No." And then he's like, it's like half lizards and birds. I'm like, "That's not true." And then I looked at the wiki, and I was like, yo, there's like less than 8 monsters that aren't motherfucking lizards and birds. I was like, these motherfuckers got us with oops all lizards, and no one said shit to them. Like, I was like, I got retroactively mad. I was like, yo, I love the monster variety in World. I don't know what people are talking about. Give them some slack. And then I went back, I was like, those motherfuckers lied to me. Like, I got so mad
Gen
at them,
U just
dude.
made me realize how many monsters they could have put in that game that they just didn't.
Right.
Like, everybody was so focused on Lagiacrus and, like, Leviathan, like, in general.
And having convenient multiplayer that isn't a total bitch to get started.
Well, this is like...
That too.
Talk about it.
It's really sad that
I'm just
World has a worse multiplayer system than Gen U, and Gen U uses Nintendo Switch Online.
That's fucked up.
No, yeah,
worse?
and we literally
fucked up.
It's
all
worse?
played together, Chris. No joke. And I was like, hey, like, how do we get started? And then they used the Nintendo like friends list, and then it was like 3 clicks, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know this was a feature. And they're like, yeah, we didn't know either until we played this game together. And with Monster Hunter World, it's like you have to be in like the same mission, you have to have watched the same cutscene, and you can't be in the same group unless you've seen the cutscene already. Which means that you have to start it, wait, then invite them to the
I'm not gonna
group,
lie, I forgot
wait
about
until
all
that goes
crap.
through.
I forgot about all of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it just reminded me
it's
of
annoying.
every single reason why I was like, I really don't want to play this game.
Well, you
Yeah.
weren't
So
the one
Rise is gonna be
standing
nothing
around in
like
the
that.
gathering hub. We would stand there for like 20 minutes, like, all right, Chris, we're not in the map with you, but you got to go here
let
to
us-
find the
let us know
squirrel
when
lizard.
the cutscene's done, and then just add us, and yeah, and then we'll help you out. Also, we'll just tank the monster, and you just stand back. I'm like, This game's...
That's why you got to play Hunting Horn, baby. That's the vibe. That's what got me here.
If you wanted that challenge, you could have played solo.
Yeah.
I didn't want that challenge. I tried playing solo.
Well,
That was also...
This is what you get. Your friends
I did
come
not.
and they curb stomp a monster while you watch.
What do you expect us to do? Like hit it once, let you get 3 hits in, and then come back and hit it again?
I understand that it was completely 100% my fault that I never got into Monster Hunter.
We just have to circle the monster and just watch you fight it, and then step in when necessary.
It's like go.
You're doing great, bud. Keep it up.
Just give it a higher health pool.
It's like
and force you to
you're like
solo
on
it.
fire.
We're like the Simpsons International Waters. We see you and the monkey like in the center fighting it out, and we're just betting on who wins.
They're throwing money at it. Well, in your defense, Chris, though, like I was like one of like way back, like a billion years ago, back before World was out. I was telling people, I was like, "Yo, Monster Hunter is really great. You should go and play it." And people are like, "Where can I play it?" Fine, I'll give in. Where do you play it, Ian? I'm like, "On the 3DS." And people are like, "Nah, bro, I'm not fucking playing that game." And then
play a portable game?
when the new one came out. And that was Gen U, right, on the 3DS, that one, or Generations or whatever it's called. And then I had friends play World, and they were like, "Yo, how the fuck do I play this game? It doesn't explain to you anything." So I had to like literally sit down with like a fucking PowerPoint presentation, like, "All right, here's what this means. Here's how you become not on fire. Here's how you do this. Here's how you get something out of the air. Here's the weapon you choose."
That's what we were taught to do when we were 5. When you're set on
Right.
fire.
It made sense
Yeah.
to us.
Yeah.
Like that was our
Go
first
run
real
in
Monster Hunter.
a body of water.
Well, or jump into some
So
water.
it's very obtrusive. So it's very
And if you're
obtrusive.
going
So I
into a
never,
hot
whenever anyone
environment,
says
make
it's
sure
not
you don't forget
good,
your cool drink so you don't
get
die
a
of
cold
heat exhaustion.
drink.
Don't need that no more.
Yeah, exactly. Because I love going into lava while I'm being like, you know what? I go into like on fire buildings, and I'm like, I have my smoothie, so I'm good. I'm immune
got
to lava because of this smoothie
I got
I'm
this
drinking.
Gatorade right here, you know.
I mean,
Get
if
my
I'm cool on the
electrolytes.
inside,
Is that why
I'm
it's
cool on
Gatorade
the
Frost?
outside.
But anyway, that's why I never blame anybody for not getting into Monster Hunter, because literally this week, if you want to transition into shit that I did this week, that's what happened to me. I literally was complaining to y'all on the Discord this week, like, "Yo, how the fuck do I get back into Gen U? I used to love this game on the 3DS. I'm so out of it now. I don't know what weapon to use. I don't know what monsters to fight. I don't know." Like, even after playing 60 hours on it and then playing hundreds of hours of World, I was like, "Guys, where's the fun? I forgot how to fun in this game. Help me." And had to like go into like, there's 12 weapons, right, guys? 12
think
weapons in Monster
14.
Hunter. Is that the?
I think it was 12 before
It's around
the
there.
Switch axe and
And the insect wave or
Yeah.
whatever, I think. There you go. So literally there's like 12 to 14, we'll say, and I literally went through 7 of them before I finally was like, "Oh, I like this weapon in this iteration of the game." So it is definitely a game where you need to like figure out your fun. There's not like a universal like, this is the best way to play, because the amount of permutations there are like absurd. So again, never feel bad, Chris.
I
It's
mean,
okay.
there was
I got
one
your
time
back.
because I was, I think it was last year or the year before, I was extraordinarily addicted to 14. And someone was like, "Yo, you just got to learn rotation." And I was like, "Rotation? There's rotation in Monster Hunter?" And then I learned that, and I had one good time.
Oh, so you should play fucking Charge Axe. That's a whole ass rotation. That's multiple rotation.
Yeah, they were just
Yeah.
like, learn your
Longsword has a
rotation,
good
and then just do
rotation.
that over and over and over again, and then also press dodge, and you're great. And I was like, yeah, this is fun.
yeah, I really don't get how you played so much 14. How MMOs are like up your alley, but you can't get with Monster Hunter because
the thing about MMOs is that like
Not every MMO is your MMO.
it's also like the presentation of it all. Like, because the thing with Monster Hunter is you're unlocking boss fights. Like, you're
Yeah.
hunting a thing, and it fights like this. With an MMO, yeah, we're doing one dungeon. That ain't gonna have the same bullshit as the other dungeon.
Yeah, that's true.
True. But yeah,
tell that to
That's what I did
Teostra
this
and
week.
Lunash.
I was about to say, some of those fights are vastly different. And then there's even like, you know.
Yeah, but you
raids,
can't
and
compare,
then,
like, if you're trying to compare, like, Monster Hunter as an MMO and then 14 as an MMO, they're completely two different games. Like, Destiny and Monster Hunter
It's
aren't
not
the
just
same
that,
fucking
but then
thing.
also like playing a level 25 anything is vastly different from playing like a level 65 whatever
Well-
of the same class. While with Monster Hunter, your class still plays the same, but you are performing better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and I feel like there's also different, like, in-between stuff, too. Like, in an MMO, like, you're like, oh, I'm hanging out with my friends in the fucking, like, the guild bar or whatever. Or like, oh, I'm leveling up these side things, or I'm, like, fucking,
complaining
I'm
about
going to
the
be a
housing
merchant now
crisis
and
in that
sell
game.
money.
The housing crisis. Has
Yeah,
never
there's, like,
gone
limited
away.
houses or whatever, yeah.
I love how
in
MMOs
Monster Hunter,
have
it's, like, very
replicated
singular.
every single American problem at some point. Warcraft had an
Yeah.
economy problem because of inflation.
It had COVID,
Yeah, I was gonna say
too, back
that.
in, like,
Right,
2000.
and they had COVID. I was there
Oh
for
my
that. That was
God.
hilarious. I literally watched people would run back then. People would run up into the major cities, to the rival major cities, to infect the population. And now that I think about it,
It was fucked.
It explains a
fucked.
lot,
Definitely
doesn't it?
destined to happen.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. It was like some item was coded to, like,
Well,
give
no, what
you a
happened was
virus
there
that would
boss fight
spread
that
from
gives
person
you
to
a blood
person, right?
disease. It was
Yeah.
a car, and
Oh,
the thing
okay,
about
okay.
it though is it was coded wrong that if you killed Hakar while still had the debuff, you can bring it outside of the raid.
Oh, okay.
And so that blood disease started affecting everybody.
Oh, that sucks, dude. That's
And
funny.
then and straight up, the disease could have been gotten rid of if the infected quarantined, because the debuff only lasted for like 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Because it was one
Metaphor.
of those things that's designed to be like, if you don't do this mechanic right, it will kill you.
So they went back to
Yeah.
town within 5 minutes and just started like hanging out, touching microphones, coughing on people,
Yeah. Yeah,
fixing drains.
pretty much. Went to the guild bank, went to the bank, went to the auction house. You know, all those public areas. Just affected everybody.
God.
And then once they realized,
Video
we can
games
spread an
started it all.
infection, they got up into groups and started running to rival cities. Like,
Sounds like something that happened recently.
right.
Yeah, that's.
Is there a capital city in WoW? Don't answer that. Moving
Every
on.
single race.
I was
has
about
a
to say that's just Atlanta.
Every single race has a
right now.
capital.
Everybody just comes here to spread their debuffs and then leave.
Yeah.
Right, Atlanta really is like a hotbed of just fuck it.
But yeah, my birthday is during COVID,
wouldn't
so
know.
I'm just gonna go to Atlanta. Debuff
Because
there,
it's just
leave.
open. It's really just open. The amount of places
Really?
I've been in that it just have like they have no mask, no entry, and then I go in there wearing a mask, and there are at least 4 people in there without a mask, and I'm just like, fuck. Well, I'm not gonna not get my wings now.
I'm still gonna get
I already
my
ordered them.
wings.
You already fucked. I already fucked up now. I've already ordered.
Bro,
them.
I got so
pepperoni
angry.
tea.
Like I think it was like a month ago. I'm in Southern California, and Southern California is like the breeding ground for like really dumb white people. It's like where they emerge from the goo, the primordial goo. And
Starbucks.
I was in a supermarket, and I was next to this guy and his son. The son had the mask on properly, all good. The other guy, his dad, I assume, or his uncle or whatever, had his mask around his neck. And I like turned to
chin
him with
diaper.
my mask on, and I'm like,
He hit one
yeah,
of
and
these.
I was like, exactly like that. And I was like, yo, can you put your fucking mask on? Like, for real? And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I can see your mouth, man. Put your fucking mask on. And the son's like, yeah, Dad, come on, you're embarrassing me. Which is like the epitome of like the younger generation is like, please, for the love of God, just don't commit a bio
you hear
crime
that, the kids are
in the
alright.
Stop and Shop. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was a frustrating debacle I got into recently.
I had to do a PSA on my Instagram story a little while back about just here's how you wear a mask, and I literally just sat at my desk. I'm like, you wear a mask like this, not like this, not like this, not like this, fucking this and only this. Put it all like the amount of people that I just want to ask. I just want to walk up to some of these
Nah,
people
this-
because they
this
seem
how I wear my shit,
sensible
for real,
enough.
for real.
That'll work, Madrid. See no evil, hear no evil. You know.
You know what I'm saying? I'm off that bullshit.
The virus can't get you if you don't see it. It's like
Infinite
T-Rex rules, you know?
But the
like,
amount of people I
but on
just
some
want to
real
walk
shit-
up to them, and I'm like, you do realize that pathogens enter your nose too? Like, I just assume that all of these people,
Enter your
just
nose,
their breath
motherfucker. The
is
shit
so...
can enter your eyes.
It can.
That
Any
too.
mucous membrane,
That too.
but, you know... As the only
But, like,
person
what's
in
even-
here not wearing glasses, like, I have to take that risk.
It's not
true.
like it's gonna stop
gotta wear
right
swim
here at the
goggles.
glass and be like, damn, I can't. Fuck, he's wearing glasses.
But I'm out.
That's how I feel with like the
But
the plexiglass, just like right in front of the register. I'm like, It's not like that shit's not
Yeah.
gonna. You know what I'm saying?
somehow go around. It's in the air.
Oh,
yeah.
fuck, you got a
The thing that's
plexiglass.
crazy to me is like if I'm very lucky to like not have any like asthma or like any sort of like immunocompromising disease. Like if I had some sort of immunocompromised person with me and I saw someone without a mask, I'm like, you're gonna kill my friend. I'm gonna just kick the shit out of you. Like you're committing a crime. You're assaulting my friend by proxy. So legally, like, I wonder how far that would go. You know what I mean? Like if I like kicked some dude's ass because they weren't wearing a mask near my friend who had like cancer or something, right? Like would I be in the clear? Like could I weasel my way out of that? Like he's like, well, the guy like the judge is like, well, the guy did commit a biocrime. So
I mean,
you know that
that's just
seems fair to me.
Out of high school,
like
like the first season. That's one of the
What was
characters'
that?
motivations.
in what? In what?
Out of high school.
That's me. Boom. I'm the character in God of High School. That's me.
100%. All right, so I mean, I guess we got to talk about games at some point.
Boo!
games,
No,
bro.
talk about something else. Let's talk about the bad boy list we're all on again. Let's talk about that again.
The bad boy
Rewind.
list?
We've been knocked.
That's us.
Look, I'm just saying, if you haven't Googled something that ends you up on a watch list, have you really been doing anything?
Watching
I just
Dr. Stone or just reading Dr. Stone gets you on a watch list. They teach you how to make gunpowder in like the first arc.
That's true.
Okay.
wanna know
That's
what I'm
very
saying?
true.
If you don't end up on
So-
a watch list for something you're researching, are you really researching? Like, come on.
So I know that like every podcast is like no tangents, we gotta do the thing or whatever. But that reminded me of Dr. Stone just now. A friend of mine was like, "Yo, Ian, should I get into Dr. Stone?" And I like linked them the video that I made about it or whatever. And then they're like, "Tell me more about it." I'm like, "Well, it's wild because some Korean dude was like making a whole bunch of porn in Korea and then moved over to Japan and was like, I'm just gonna be the best mangaka in the past like 10 years. Like that, he just woke up one day in Korea and was like, fuck
Just
it,
gonna
I'm
be an
out.
insane artist.
And like that's like legit. Boichi, who's the guy who does Dr. Stone, was well known for doing porn in Korea. And then
Yo,
like that's
apparently
like your
Sun King
boy.
Rock is that shit.
But it's like that's like a more common occurrence than you would think. Like a lot of like mangaka, especially
okay,
now,
look,
like
I'm gonna
start
tell you
there.
this right now. If you
The artist
Uh-oh, it's
for,
happening.
who's ever picked up a pen to draw anything
Shokugeki no
has
Soma.
drawn titties.
The artist for
That's
Shokugeki
just-
no
Oh, no,
Soma
of course.
used to be a
Of
doujin
course.
artist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you
the
right now.
Shingeki
I'm
no
gonna tell you
Soma,
right
same
now,
guy.
This is your litmus test.
The
If
creator of
anyone
Ghost
can
in the
do
Shell
blush
is a
correctly,
famous-
They draw porn.
is a
I'm telling you
famous,
this
like-
right now. If anyone can do blush correctly, they do porn. They draw porn. I
it.
guarantee it.
Can you draw two circles? It's like the
creator
kindergartner equivalent of a
Ghost in the
snowman.
Shell, famous porn director.
But I guess that makes sense more to me because like Ghost in the Shell is about like transhumanism and the human body or whatever. Like at least the subject matters are connected.
Mm-hmm.
But like when I was explaining to my friend was like, how are these two things connected? I mean, even Shokugeki no Soma, what is it? Food Wars.
Yeah.
Like the orgasmic thing of food, right? Like that. There is like a tangential thing.
Here's a callback to my prior
But like
work.
well, exactly. But like with Dr. Stone, like he's like, what's the through line here between like science and like a whole bunch of fucking?
Cake
I'm like,
shots. Cake shots.
I don't know, man.
No, like
It's called post
cake
clarity. That's what it is.
You just like read it. You're like, oh god, biology. Okay, it's like go into like a science textbook after. But yeah,
that's
shout out to
what
Dr.
happens, like-
Stone.
I know how to make soap now.
right. That's the Dr. Stone
Hey.
and soap. And what do? Post sex, you wash your hands.
That's true. I'm just like imagining like I just imagine every mangaka like living in a house together, like, and then like Boichi exits like his bedroom. He's like, "Yo, anyone know how to make soap? I'm gonna learn how to make soap today." I'm like, why the fuck? What is he screaming about today? And you're like, I don't know. He figured out how to make lye again. Okay,
Right.
yeah.
But like
that's
the thing I
my
did notice,
Dr. Stone PSA.
He draws a lot of ass.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
honestly.
definitely an ass
Oh, yeah.
man.
Definitely an
100%.
ass man.
There's only one large-breasted character in that entire manga, and the potential squandered on that character.
But the other cool thing about it though, like it's like a two-person job. Like the writer for it did Ice Shield 21.
Yep.
So it's like, all right, let's go from football to how to survive a post-apocalyptic world. With
Well,
nothing but
I think
your
that
brain.
the writer used to be like a chemistry teacher or something, or like a biology researcher, like because it says like his like consultant.
Yeah,
whenever you
there's
look
a
at like the manga, it's
scientific
like consultant
consultant.
Kurare. Yeah, but I'm saying that's him. That's the writer. Like Boichi is the artist and like the concept guy, but then Kurare I think is the writer of it because it's the same person every time for everything. But regardless, that's my PSA this week. Go, and the reason why I brought it up is because my friend was asking about this art that he did for like it was like a One Piece celebration for like their 1000th chapter. Like all the different artists drew characters, and
He did.
That's
Ace,
my
right?
favorite thing to come out of Shonen Jump. It's just different mangaka drawing. Like, one of the 2 volumes of Shonen Jump that I have that I imported from Japan, one of them is just a bunch of the different artists drawing other characters. And that shit is just so, like, Madrid, I think, shared the tight Kubo drawing of Naruto. And it was just like...
Yep.
It's just so great.
Well,
it has always been fucking great, and it will continue to be great until the end of time.
I mean,
the creator of
they're
Fire
all
Force,
homies, though. That's the
he
reason
did
why.
A drawing of Apex Legends characters.
No.
that was tight.
Yeah, that was tight. One thing about Okubo, he's going to give you angles and he's going to give you some weird eyes. And I fucking love it.
Did you guys, I promise this is the last thing I'll say about anime or manga. Did y'all see the theory where it's like Tite Kubo is the reason why like fashion labels are collabing with anime?
It's true.
No, that's not true.
I mean,
that's not true at all.
him,
or at least from the Japan side.
Him and Hiroki from JoJo's. Like,
Yeah, I was about to say, JoJo's definitely, like...
Yeah. No, and also,
JoJo,
like,
too.
Yu Yu Hakusho. Like, wait, 90s
that
anime,
too.
they all were dressing. They were all dressing in 90s
Well,
anime.
no,
Yeah.
I agree
Fully
with
had
that, but
some
I mean,
drip.
like, specifically,
Yeah, they were
I mean, that
getting
too.
fits off
But I mean,
was, like,
specifically, like,
the
the
gold
collab.
standard.
Like, if you look at the Tite long shots of, like, all the fashion they were wearing, like, they're essentially wearing, in, like, the double spreads in Bleach, they are wearing fucking, like, Supreme-adjacent outfits today. You know what I mean?
I used to love those.
Which is,
The
like,
reasons
what-
I would buy the manga.
There you go.
Oh,
So
anyway, that was it. Last
okay,
thing. I'm
okay.
good.
I have one last
promise.
anime thing because we're talking about.
Here it's at. Okay.
You
It's just an
were
anime podcast
transitioning
now.
us into Apex talk. I thought you had a grandmaster plan, and you just...
I really did, but like
Nah.
basically JJK and Bleach, they're trading characters. They're gonna draw each other's characters.
It's going to be awesome.
It's gonna be awesome.
Please.
I'm gonna leave it.
Please,
at
I'm excited.
Please.
Please.
I need to see Gojo in the Bleach style.
It doesn't matter who
I
you
love
do.
Gojo.
It's gonna hit. I don't want to
Look,
hype
I-
myself
yo,
up
I'll-
either way.
This
But Yoda
last
Michi,
chapter,
please.
the last couple of chapters of JJK is just, Lord. Just,
Very good. Muy bueno.
Muy bueno.
I loved it.
I'll kill Gabby myself.
Anyway,
That's how you write a character.
Cox shotgun. It's my
oh,
turn.
man. I did that. See,
So
that was
anyway.
one of the times that I love being a manga reader. Because I was watching on Twitter going like, yeah, Gabby's a real one, yada, yada, yada. I was like,
Right?
what, we got 2 more weeks? Well, we got 2 more weeks? And then
That's me with My
the
Hero
moment it happened-
Academia.
Foolish.
The moment it happened.
It's like when every girl on Twitter is like, I love Bakugo, I love Endeavor. I'm like, all right, I'll see you in 2 years, girl. We'll see how your opinion feels
Is this your
in
king?
a little bit.
I mean, what's not to love about Bakugo?
Yo, you don't even have enough time on your hard drive for me, bro.
Actually,
you don't even have
what's
enough
funny-
gigs
what's
for
funny
me,
about
dog.
Bakugo
Podcast on it.
specifically is that his entire character development is fighting that. That's the funny thing. That's his entire
Stay
character
mad,
development at
loser.
this point.
Yeah. Ugh. I'm holding back. I won't say a damn thing. That's it.
All right.
But Apex
well,
Legends.
Madrid. Apex Season 8 started yesterday, and
Yes, sir.
I've been playing, it feels like almost nonstop. If I hadn't put time
played more
into
than me.
Control today to decompress from just like randoms being garbage at that game, I would have played nothing but Apex since the season dropped. So I know it's early impressions. I know the season really just started. None of us have gotten into like the deep minutia of the battle pass. Like, I think I'm the farthest out of everybody, and I'm still in the early 40s. But
Yeah, I'm like on 4, so.
I'm like at 2.
well, you guys know I always do the bundle. Like any game, I'm going to get the battle pass, and I'm at least going to get the one with like the 20 additional tiers, just so I can get. It's always an extra skin. They gave me the Bangalore skin, which was just straight fire. They gave me.
Man, that's the best
The
Bangalore
Bang
skin.
and Lifeline skins on that battle pass are.
I'm
really
almost
good.
to Lifeline. Like, that's why I finished my dailies yesterday and today. I have literally 2 more weeklies left, and both of them are just, they're things they want you to work on for weeks at a time, and I've just been out there. I picked up sniper rifles because it's like, oh, do 5,000 sniper rifle damage. And for those without context, 5,000 damage in Apex is a lot. Like, they give you a trophy for getting, like, 5,000 damage with 8 different characters. And that's the rarest trophy in the game. So they expect you to do that with 1 weapon class. And I'm almost done. Like, that last game me and Madrid did put me, like, within 1,000 of being done. So...
I mean, in Apex, your base HP is 100. Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing about it. Your actual health bar is only 100.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Which means kill at least
5,000
50
damage.
people. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's without accounting for body armor. That's another thing. That's without accounting for
I
body
saw
armor.
somebody post like a screen cap and they did like 4,000 something damage, and I'm like, fucking, how do y'all find these people?
Oh, those server stompers be dropping like 4 or 5K numbers sometimes, and it's stupid.
I really just wonder, how do you find all these people in the arena? Like,
Right,
Because
the amount of time...
they
it's
roll
like-
in 3 deep. Because a lot of times they'll roll in 3 deep, and 2 of the people aren't actually out there killing. They're looking for people.
It's like my face when the Adderall kicks in. It's like 100,000 damage. Like you start seeing the code or whatever of the Apex
I
game.
feel it. But so far,
It's working.
like this season's, it's cool. I'm having fun with it. I really don't have a lot to say. Like it's been hitting. Like I streamed it yesterday, got 1 dub on stream.
Hell yeah.
The 50-50 repeater, it's a fun gun. It's like
I actually really do like that gun.
right. It's
I
the
really do
G7's
that
like
gun.
older,
I don't know
beefier
how
brother.
I feel about it. Because, like, the game making me play with sniper rifles, it's either, wow, this is really good for, like, a non-sniper rifle, or this shit is just going to get you killed 10 times out of 10. So, like, I was playing with a group before you guys got on, and the 30-30
Bro.
repeater was just getting people marked. It's like, oh, I'm going to pick up this new gun.
Bro,
Test it out.
pick up the gold one. The gold one is a fucking, that shit is.
I've never
I
even
will
seen
say
that
the
shit.
gold what is it, magazines
Yeah.
make that gun really, really good because
Real
it
good.
gets rid of its one weakness. But the thing about the 30-30 is if you could just pop out, because while Ant and I were playing the other day, we got stuck in one of those new supply, whatever the fuck they're called.
Oh, yeah.
They're like,
They're
like
like
giant-
supply bins.
yeah, we got stuck in one of those. Someone popped their head out, I domed them with the 30-30, all of a sudden you hear the knockdown sound. That's pretty much take the G7, take its playstyle, but make it like slightly slower and it's significantly more deadly. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, it's this bigger, beefier brother.
Yeah. And you feel like a cowboy doing it. It's amazing.
Yeah, it definitely pulls the Ash from Overwatch vibes and like takes them to a new level.
And then the cool thing about the gold extended mag, when you like swap weapons, it'll like reload after 5.5 seconds.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right.
Yeah,
So you empty out your clip.
that's the
swap
way they're
real quick.
breaking the game this season is by putting in those gold magazines. They pretty much negate needing to reload on pretty much everything.
Yeah, well, it depends on how you actually handle the firefight. Like, if you can take the firefight slightly slower, that you can go 5 seconds without emptying your magazine, then you don't actually have to reload anymore. But it's also like if you're in one of those, like, really extended firefights where you're just gonna keep shooting at each other, the gold's reload effect isn't as helpful.
Right.
I feel like this, with y'all talking about Apex, I feel like I'm Chris during Monster Hunter because the only thing that Apex or any battle royale games have really ever given me is heartburn and stress because it feels like a horror game to me where I'm like running in there, I'm like a gun, and then I like run and I see someone like in the same, like, you know when you like run into someone in a hallway in high school where you're both going from opposite angles, but the wall is here, and it's just me screaming at my television like, oh my god, oh fuck, dude, oh my god, fuck. Like that's just how it is with every battle royale with me. It's always so stress inducing. I don't know how y'all do it.
I don't know. I've grown to love it.
Yeah,
It's
for
really-
me,
It's like roller
filled that
coasters.
slot of Overwatch for me, and it's like I could take that needle of Overwatch out of my arm, toss that bitch off into the highway, let somebody run that over with an 18-wheeler, and put a fresh needle of that pure uncut Apex just directly into my main vein.
yeah. For me, like I started really getting into Fortnite because a lot of the crossovers, and just I can't convince anybody else
No,
who's a
why would
self-respecting adult to
Why
play
would we?
Fortnite with me. So like, it's like everybody just is, and I don't need to get on this high horse because listeners of the podcast have heard me just complain about this for years at this point. But like, I really enjoy Fortnite as a game, and my battle royale skill from that was able to translate over to Apex, and so I can get people to play Apex with me. So I've started getting good at Apex just because it's like, well, it's the next best thing to Fortnite for me, and now it's starting to like. I still can't play as a psycho from Borderlands in Apex, but you know we're slowly getting there. Like this has like an 80s action this season has a 80s action movie aesthetic that's really like helping prop it up. Plus
Right.
it's giving us like some legit skins. But yeah.
Right.
For me,
shouts out to Fuse too. Like he's pretty tight. For them to
Yeah.
add just like a white guy for like the first time in a while, he's pretty cool. Like
they
his
haven't
opening-
added a
I feel like
white
they
guy
also-
since the game came out.
right.
Which is good.
pretty cool.
I prefer
Yeah.
that. But I feel like this month, like what a month to release them. Like, hey man, what's this month? I don't know, man. Fuck it. Who we got in the pipeline? We got
The Australian.
fuck, man. We got Greg. Fuck, dude. Wrong month. Just don't acknowledge it. Just don't say it. Just say, hey, here's here. Yay.
But they
Just
gave
don't
all
worry
the
about
black characters extremely fire skins in the battle pass. I will say that much. Like,
They did.
There's like one guy. There's like one guy in the CEO's
office.
office. He's like this. He's like, all right, Greg can come, but we better get better skins than his ass. And like the one designer's like, that's fine. We got no other character.
Yeah.
That's all we got, man.
We have
And he's
another
like,
black character in they're not ready yet.
I also love I love the visual of like some coder and he's like, oh no, what happened? What happened, Thomas? Well, we were supposed to release his character this month, but the only character we have ready with the code is this white guy, and that's not a good look. And he like goes to his artist buddy in the next cubicle. He's like, yo, Mike, can you like do some really good shit this month for skins, man? Because I'm about to get fired for this decision. Like, please help.
And I'm going to say this: every character that we believe is colored in any sort of way got a flaming skin this season. Like,
Yeah. Like anytime they could get Bangalore's hair right, it's gonna be a good skin. Like she'll have
And
good skins,
like,
but
right,
the hair
right.
but the hair will miss. Like this just needs to be her standard hairstyle going forward.
yeah, I'd definitely take this Bangalore hairstyle in every Bangalore skin because I'm tired of the
I really
to your
need them to
manager.
just for one time, give me like give me my 90s campy action movie season and give Bangalore like a really clean flat top. Like just give me a clean flat top.
I was thinking like a
Will Smith.
Neon,
like a
that's what I need in my life.
70s fro, but don't like adjust the hitbox or anything.
No, I need.
What if like bullets go
Bangalore to
through
look
it?
like Niobe from The Matrix, except with a flat top instead of bunch of nuts. That's what I need.
My activation
I
code,
need.
The Matrix.
No, I need Lifeline.
If you're a white 30-year-old, you love The Matrix. That's a definite. But yeah, thanks for telling me about Apex, guys. Now I'm actually curious.
Yeah, Apex.
Apex is a lot of fucking fun.
I think I'm going to stream it later too. So, twitch.tv/SunnyChifa for all you live
What?
watchers.
Is that a plug?
I'm definitely going to be, in there shooting shit with him. We came in second place. We played one game before we hopped in the video call for the podcast, and we came in second place. And the only reason we didn't win is because we had to rely on a random. Like, we're going to be out here clicking heads and ripping them to shreds after this shit. It's about to be a lot of fun.
Right. Also,
I feel like y'all talking about Apex. Oh no, yeah, you go for it.
Oh
Sonny.
no, I was
Go
gonna
for
say
it.
also Fuse's been confirmed as a pansexual, so that just shows like Apex
Shout
kinda,
out.
like really getting.
Well,
into
too bad
that.
he got shipped with caustic, so it's over. So it doesn't even matter anymore.
Oh, yikes. Yikes.
It's done.
You know what? That's actually fine. Get the whites out of here. Pair them up and
couple of them.
pair them up and then remove them in one patch. Like DLC content. Oops, we removed the whites, boys. Enjoy. That's the February plan. The last day of February, like, boys, we did it.
They blew their load
virus has been
early
removed.
with killing the
remember,
white guy.
Remember in the opening cutscene for this season, they were trying to kill him. They were trying.
Damn, they were trying to kill.
Just saying.
He did not get the nicest welcome, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And I mean, they already
but-
like Apex blew their load. What was that, like season 4, when they announced a white guy, just a regular white guy's coming to the game, and everybody's like, "Oh, I don't know about this," and then they killed him before he could even make it into the
Yeah,
game.
that was legendary.
They fully domed
about
him.
that.
They fully domed him.
Bro, no,
Like, it was crazy.
It was fucked up because we did an extra slice like the day before, and we were talking about that character and making speculations. And this motherfucker gets stabbed in the heart during a live broadcast the next goddamn day after we already published the fucking episode.
Yo, hey man, that's the curse. That's the curse of a podcast. You say something definitely, or like you speculate for 3 hours, and it's like, that was wrong. The game's never coming out. Enjoy. Bayonetta 5, never. But yeah, it's interesting that you guys were talking about Apex that way earlier, because it had me think about, like, as I've gotten older, like, more and more of my friends, like, it doesn't really matter even the game half the time. What matters is, like, what's the largest group of friends we can convince to play one game, and then we all just end up playing that game, and then half of us are complaining, like, bro, this game is bullshit, but, like, you know, all of us are here. Like, what's the over-under on? Can we, like, play a different game? And everyone's like, no, shut up. This is the largest group we can get. Play this game or perish. Like, stop. So it's interesting talking about that, the whole Fortnite to Apex transition, how difficult that was to convince people, and then now y'all are just still enjoying this game together.
Yeah.
It's fun.
But also, like, another thing about it is, I refuse to play Fortnite. Not because it's Fortnite. It's just I just despise the shooting mechanics.
But
I've never felt like Fortnite.
they've improved. That's the thing. They completely
every single
redid.
time I've played Fortnite with you, I've never liked the shooting mechanics. And every time we play, he's like, they've improved. Go back, I don't know. I'm not feeling it. And then
I know,
and then I
man.
can get on Apex with the 30-30 and just hear that satisfying crack of someone's skull going away.
Oh man, those sound effects are so satisfying. Also,
I mean, shit. That's why I play.
Fuck
That's why I play
Fortnite.
Hammer in Monster Hunter World. Just because it's like I was going through weapons, got that crack on a monster with that hammer. I was like, oh. Well, I know
Hit
what
him
I'm
with the
doing in this
blamer.
game.
what is
There you go.
this? Also, there's a
need
Black
that
Lives
sound
Matter.
design, man.
There's
I
a
need
Black
to
Lives
hear
Matter
it.
icon.
Feel it in my
Apex.
spine.
What?
yeah, exactly.
Black Power? I don't know
there's
what
a-
you were doing right there, Madrid.
No, I was saying there's a Black Lives Matter icon in
Oh yeah, they
Apex
definitely
now.
did add that, and I put it on
Shout
my
out.
banner for all my characters. So for Black History
Shout
Month, they
out.
added a Black Lives Matter banner. So if you just log into Apex to claim that, it's free as soon as you log in. I highly recommend everybody do it, because it's a really clean
Shout out.
like badge for your banner.
Oh yeah, that's dope.
I feel like that's also, like, really good. Like, again, we were talking earlier about, like, the anime and manga from era to era. Like, going from the era of, like, us growing up in, like, the Call of Duty days, right? Where, like, every racist child would go on that shit and just scream for a couple hours, right? Like, it's good to have that transition from, like, my perception of what shooters used to be, community-wise and, like, representation-wise, from the top down, from company down, now to being like, hey, it's Black History Month, we acknowledge it, and most of our characters are POC. We don't give a shit if you don't like it. Fuck you. Like,
Right.
I love that. Like,
Call
from
of
the
Duty
top
did
down, and it
that,
feels
like,
genuine.
That's one of the things
But
like
then
Call
also,
of Duty
when you look at it,
last
most
year.
of the people who would and then when you look at it, most of the people who complain about something like that were playing the game anyway. It's always
True.
been that way.
True. But I just like, it also feels more genuine from, like, the Apex people too. Like, I always say this a lot, like, like, back in the day when I was on more podcasting stuff, I'd always say, like, yeah, I'm fine with, like, sentiments from larger companies, but there are some companies that just feels less genuine because of past behavior, right? When Call of Duty is like, listen, man, we really care about everything. I'm like, do you? I'm like, it seems like you don't. Like, it seems like it's just convenient to care now. But, like, and especially with like Call of Duty, every single main character is like smoky white man with an AK, right? Like that's like, you know what I mean? That's all Call of Duty had been, at least back when I was making this critique. But with Apex, it's like, nah, like the majority of our characters are POC. We just only like have one white, at least when it first came out, we have one white guy and he is obviously very evil, which is how it should be. And like that feels more genuine from that group of creators to be like, hey, respect everybody. They had a non-binary character from the jump, like, and always respected that as their identification. Like, this seems more genuine and real from the top down, which I think is important from larger companies when doing a message. Don't make it. There's a lot of the talk about like performative progress, which a lot of times with other companies it feels like that. But with this, I'm like, hell yeah, I respect that.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah.
All right. I mean,
but
we'll
also
go
part
from
of it is the
that.
fact Yeah.
We'll go from that, and we'll talk
Big
about EA college football, because a lot of young black athletes are being taken advantage of by the NCAA.
Okay, so
True.
Apparently what they're trying to do with this, they're not going to use characters like names and likenesses and things like that. And they tentatively. And beforehand, they already weren't using like names; they just used numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But even still, I don't like this at all. Like the fact that all these athletes are always exploited, and like here's a game about it, and these people are still broke in real life, and them going to the NFL isn't always necessarily guaranteed. Like they're one major injury away from just at least you went to college for a few years.
I mean,
And also, but also like they should have been
can-
paid for their work because they've been working the entire time.
Right.
Like the entire time.
This is a huge, like, a debate on a college scholarship that you've gotten, like, especially in the business that is the college National Football League. Like,
The colleges are...
you are getting, like, I mean, compared to somebody who's going to college for maybe their academics or their academia, like, they're like, I mean, you're playing football, you're pretty much, like, squared away. You're getting the tutors that you need, you're getting everything that you need, but you're also working a fucking, like, full-time job because you're also playing college football that is pretty much, like, bigger than the NFL will ever be college football is.
Right. It makes more money than it, and you're telling me that these people can't get paid. You can't even go buy a fucking college athlete a goddamn McChicken without the NCAA
and
like
being
fucking
all up your ass.
I was
Like,
saying
what are you doing
NAACP.
feeding
I was like,
them?
that's not true.
How dare you feed them?
I want to say it was Odell Beckham Jr., who was on the Browns, paid people, the college players, last year for playing during COVID.
Yo, he was on some drunk shit.
LSU.
He was on some drunk shit. I saw that video.
I mean,
he was up there in front of cameras.
So
Here's
just give him money.
probably like $5,000 for you. Here's
yeah, but I mean, they did have to like pull out of bowl games, which is like a huge thing for a college team to go to. They had to pull out of the bowl game because Odell Beckham Jr. did pay each player like $3,000 each for playing during COVID because they were risking their life playing a football game that they didn't get paid for during a pandemic that should have just been canceled.
Yeah.
Actually, and this goes.
So I don't know anything
the
about
NCAA
sports.
Game. It's the best football games were never had the branding on it. The best football games weren't the best one. Like at best, you got like the NFL branding. You didn't get actual players. You didn't get give me my arcadey NFL Blitz with a bunch of made up characters and some made up prison doing some bullshit.
Well, no. So this game isn't a game that's coming out this year. This game is a game that's coming out probably in the next 2 years. Like, what the NCAA is kind of like crumbling under the pressure of people making these exact same statements that, like, people are saying that these players need to get compensated. These players need to have, like be able to be paid for their appearance in games. Like, so EA is developing this game with thinking...
I do know that players can get paid based on their name.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
So they
Like,
they
but,
can use their name in advertisement. They can get money off of advertisement. I mean, you live in Georgia. You got so many Georgia. Who was the last Georgia? I don't know. It doesn't matter. He was fucking racist as shit. So his ads got pulled real fast.
Or what are you
No, the
talking
last Georgia quarterback. He literally was like the fucking piece of shit of the world, and is probably working at McDonald's now, like he deserves to be. But
hope no
you
college
can
athlete
you
is
can
getting
make money
purchased to
based
get
on your name if you're. But that doesn't like. That also sucks because if you're not in like say a Division 1 school, but you're still going out there doing the same damn thing as a Division 1 school is, you're not getting that kind of money. You're not getting that recognition. You're just like working just as hard
like,
and
just
working.
pay the people for their labor, though.
Yeah,
pay the
you
people
really
for their labor.
should be
Right.
paid.
And so, like,
all
a
it
lot
is.
of people from the outside are seeing that the NCAA is really just full of shit, and it's just they're taking advantage of a lot of college students and the fact that they're
If you
paying.
look at the schools, most of the schools' budget goes to the football coach, not to the actual like education.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, they
Like
were-
education is a
like-
side hustle for paying off your coaches.
I think fucking 2 years ago, fucking Joe Brady got paid $2 million to be the not even the head coach. He was not even the offensive coordinator, which is like right under him. He was the fucking quarterback coach. Like, you're getting paid $2 million, but you're teaching kids, you're like out there fucking coaching kids, making them work their asses off for absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Except
So-
for like free college.
Yeah. So I don't know a
You're
lot
not-
about
that's
sports
not free
really.
food.
Yeah.
Like,
So I don't
but
know a lot
the thing
about
it
sports,
is,
but I have a question
There
for
are 71
y'all.
Division 1 coaches that are earning more than $1 million a season.
For
Yeah.
sure.
$1 million a season.
Yeah.
That's like that's like a department right there.
Yeah.
Talk about
So-
multiple teachers.
So okay, so I don't really know a lot about the sports world. I'll admit that. But do you guys like when you were in college or if you went to college? Do you remember people who did like ROTC? Do you ever like know anyone who did that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the thing that always confuses me about this whole debate, right, is that if you do ROTC, a lot of times you'll get a stipend from the government on top of getting your tuition paid. So you'll get your tuition paid, and then you'll get like an extra, I don't know, like $500, $600, $700 a month to help cover your apartment, food, whatever. So I never really understood the debate of like, oh, should we be paying these players who are giving a service to an industry that is very well funded already, because we already do that for people who are, benefiting / promising themselves to the military industrial complex, right?
But that's
so
the thing.
I
That's
don't
the
understand.
difference right there is that the labor that they're providing has a value outside of its monetary thing. Like with these football players, their value comes from the fact that they're playing football. Like they
Well, I'm
can
saying
get
it's
injured,
it's
they
similar
out,
is what
they
I'm
can do
saying.
all this. But with the military, you're signing up for a whole. You're signing yourself up for even more labor. Like with football,
no, for sure,
you might be
for
doing
sure.
4 years and you're out. But with the military, you're doing significantly more.
Yeah,
I
but like
mean-
under that same construct, you could just say like, okay, well, I'm going to be let's say I'm a quarterback, right? I go into my freshman year, I'm going to be a quarterback, and you get paid based off of like merit, possibly on top of based off your position. Like if you're a lineman, if you're like a C tier lineman, I'm just going based off of basic information. Don't yell at me if I say shit wrong, because I probably will. If you're like a C tier bench lineman, you get this amount of money.
well, they're not
plus
getting any
tuition
money.
or whatever.
That's the
fuck.
problem. They're not getting
Yeah.
paid.
No, no, I'm saying,
Yeah, they
but I'm
don't
saying,
get-
no, I know,
Actually,
but I'm
it's
saying that
illegal for them to get paid.
No, I know, but I'm
that's-
saying in an ideal world, I'm saying wouldn't that make sense? Because in ROTC, it's a similar situation. Like if you're doing an engineering thing, you get paid based off the projected position that you will be attaining at the end. You don't need to actually. This is like another thing. Depending on I think the contract or whatever thing you signed before you join ROTC, you don't even actually need to fulfill everything. You do like I think it's like a 1-year tour or 2-year tour, depending upon what you're promising to do, and then you're
Right.
done. Right? So even though you are promising future labor for sure, that labor could be stopped prematurely. You could only do a year, right? So in theory, the people who we're giving money to go to like, foreign countries or to like work in the States doing like engineering or on naval boats, whatever the fuck, we're already paying those people. And their contracts are sometimes shorter than the careers of those who are performing in the NFL, and even shorter than that, the people who are doing college football. So I don't understand if we're like, hey, if you're this rank, you get this amount of money, If you're below that, you get less based off your position. If you're a quarterback, you make more because there's less quarterbacks or whatever the fuck. Like, I've never really understood this debate because we already do it.
Right.
Like, it feels like a lot of people don't know about this structure already and just choose to ignore
The
it.
part is that the money is there. They're just not doing. They're using it to line their own pockets. Like, this is why we feel like we should abolish this, and we should abolish unpaid internships because it's the same shit. Like,
Exactly.
Like,
I mean, we should just call it what it is.
I feel like
unpaid labor. Like,
it's
unpaid
slavery.
labor.
Slavery. That's what that is. Like, you can't
100%.
use the guise of experience to use that to pay me off. Like,
More exposure.
Exactly.
You're gonna piss on me and
I
call it
feel like-
rain? Like, come on. Come on, where are the fucking checks, Joe? Like, come on. Pay these
Joe,
people.
where are the fucking checks?
I do.
Give
I do
us the
personally.
money.
I mean, obviously, college football is one of the most popular college sports that is
And
broadcasted.
I like
Outside of
JUCO.
basketball.
I like JUCO. JUCO football, baby.
I mean,
it's the best. It's better. It's better than college.
And we can.
We can talk about JUCO.
If you go and start paying college football players, then you have to go and start paying college basketball players, and then
College
that goes,
athletes should get paid.
Yes.
Period.
But
Hell,
then,
if
and
RAs
then
could
you're
get
okay.
paid,
But
why
then
can't college
athletes are
athletes
all
get
getting
paid?
paid. But what about the people who are like now? You have the doctors who are interning and then making absolutely no money.
They
as
should be
doctors,
getting
but
paid
they're-
too. That's the
once
problem.
again, it
Exactly.
goes back
So
to
it's
the
all
fact, no matter
trickling
what
down.
labor, if it's labor, you should be paid for it. No matter
Yes,
what the
I
labor
know,
is,
but
you should be paid for your labor.
Right,
This
especially
is
with
not
the
the
inflated,
country that's going to do that. So
especially
they're not
with the
going to start
inflated
the
prices
trickle down
that The medical
effect.
system is taxing.
There is no such
people.
thing as trickle down. The only thing that gets
It's
trickled
never
down is
going to
piss.
happen. It's
So I
never
will
gonna happen.
I will say this to Chris's point. I agree with what we're saying is that we should 100% pay for the labor. That's like a full
Yeah.
stop agreement that we all agree on that. But I also do agree with Chris that unless this is ironic because this is something that you should be learning in classes in college, but you know what we should be teaching all football players is the idea of a union. Because if every single football player on every single like college double or whatever like a D1 school was like, we have now like combined together, we are refusing to play the first game of the season. There's literally nothing you can do about it because all of us in unison agreed you can take our scholarships away, but you will no longer have a season. Enjoy. And here's the beauty of sports is that you actually could do that because let's say, for example, Chris is like a coder, right? And he's like, I refuse to work until I get this amount of money, right? They could hire me, a scab, to do it overseas or do it even just down the street, right?
Yeah.
Because I need money. You can't do that with football because you can't like pick up some 5'5" dude in the middle of your campus like, yo, can you throw a ball? Sure.
That's how you
right?
get the replacements
Ironically
with
enough,
Keanu Reeves.
Yo.
Like that's
That's literally how you get the movie The Bench Warmers.
But
I'm saying that's the best scenario because they actually, ironically enough, hold more capital than the average worker because it is a specialized field, both because you have been training for it your whole life. Also, on top of that, a lot of these guys are like 6'5", 6'6", 300 pounds, all muscle. That's not something that is like a natural thing that you just be like, hey, bro, you work at 7-Eleven, come on in, you're on the team, fuck it, you're just gonna get trounced. So that's a funny thing to like think about that all of us are like, hey, they should all get paid. How would they do it? Labor union. Wait, this is the only union in which there could not possibly be anyone to take their job. This would ironically work more effective than any other union in history.
We got to
which
sit
is
them
fucking
down
awesome.
and make them listen to this episode of this podcast.
I do also
Make LeBron
believe
do
that
it.
fucking
LeBron, help us.
most athletes, peoples, especially at the age of what you're going into college at between 18 to like what 22 at best. If for college football, all you have to do is play college football for 3 years, and then you can go to the NFL. You have the most arrogant, your mind isn't where it needs to be. You think you're hot shit because you are the age of fucking 18, 19. You are not going to stop to get to the NFL. You think
just
you're
that, but
hot
also
shit.
you
You're
gotta
going to
think
think you're
about-
going to get to the NFL. I don't
But you also got to
believe
think about how
that's
these schools treat these kids.
exactly.
Like you're 18,
It's systemic,
and
yeah.
if
They're
you're
gonna-
going into
yeah.
playing for a Division I school, they treat your ass like a hero, and it's like
It's true.
And-
you
yeah.
just got here.
Yo, I was on the campus of
just got here.
UGA one time, and there was this huge football player, like, cause we were visiting somebody. One of Devon's friends, she was on the track team, so we were standing in their dorm, and that's where all the athletes were. And there's this huge like mountain of a man, and he was walking. he acknowledged the track girl. You know, she's like fastest girl on campus. You know, he shouted her out. And she was like, "Yo, what's up?" And then I saw like 20 women following him, and I was just like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And she was like, "Yeah, he doesn't know any of them." That's just, I was like, "Yo, this is some anime shit."
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but
so,
but I think it is cultural for sure. Like I think it has to start from the top down. Like ironically enough, like if I'm not in like I used to do Division 1 swimming, right? Obviously not like as popular as like football or basketball or whatever, but again, when y'all were saying about like Division 1 athletes put in a lot of time and effort, right? Like 2 hours of practice in the morning, 2 hours of practice at night, weights in the afternoon, in between classes, like, you know, getting tutors if you need help. Like it's a lot. And I feel like to a certain degree, like I feel like there should be some form of compensation, but ironically it has to come from above them. Like if people in the NFL need to be like, "Hey, yo, we're holding a seminar, refuse to work today."
well, that's
everybody.
yeah,
You know
like
what I
that's
mean?
part of the reason that I feel like this game. So the reason EA is not just cranking this game out and just being like, "All right, here goes our Madden for college," is because there is pressure from fans, from people who are literally giving the money to these organizations that are holding these students hostage. There's pressure coming from all angles at them because people have realized that the jig is up. This shit's not fair. Years ago. So the reason I think EA is pushing this game out further is so that when all of the house of cards comes crumbling down on top of the NCAA and all of that, I think that the players that are, by the time this game comes out, that are actually playing college football will be able to make royalties off of their likeness being used in this game instead of them having to rely on like fan-made, like, here goes the roster update for, I don't even know, the UGA football team. I'll just use something like, because I'm not the sports guy. Sports ball confuses the shit out of me at every turn, but I also completely understand that this is like a construct of just bullshit to take advantage of young people. And so
it is.
And
specifically black
Ian,
people.
you made some great points about unionizing and them not being able to like hire scabs. Like that is actually a great point that I hadn't even thought about. Just in the time between EA announcing that these games are coming back, which seem to be well regarded. Like I don't play sports games, but apparently people.
I mean, we've needed competition in the sports game world for entirely too long. Like, that's the reason why the quality of Madden has tanked.
But this is coming from the same publisher as
Madden.
But that's the thing about it. You still got to split. But that's the thing about it. This is their chance to get the people back who gave up on Madden because of its drop in quality.
It was not bad.
And then on top of that, they don't necessarily need the players. They just need the teams. Like, that's another way they might get out of the whole royalty thing.
Okay, so
is that
they will have to do it like how they sell college jerseys. You literally just have numbers. There's never going to be a name on it unless you buy a jersey for your college team from China with the name on it. Like, they never will ever.
It's like I'm playing UGA. It's like I'm playing
a jersey
UGA.
with a name on it.
That's the most actual.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because
well, no, they would have had
these kids don't
UGA,
stay
or
there
they
that
would have
long.
had those different.
No. That's what I'm saying. That's it. It's like the team. The most of like real life branding that I see actually getting. It's the team name. That's it. You don't get any of the player. Like none of the players.
Yeah, you get a number.
real.
And you don't ever get a player's name on the back of your jersey.
Right, but people are fighting for that, and so by the time that battle is finished, those players will be able to be put into these games to make royalties off these
by doing
games.
that ignores all that. That's the thing about it, is by not having the players' names and leaving just to whatever number it is, you can cut them out like that because you're not using their likeness or anything about it.
Right, and that's what, like, everybody hates on EA and shits on EA about their business practices, but that's what EA is trying to avoid happening, because they could...
No, I think that's what they're actually doing.
They're hedging their bets on the fact that the players' jersey numbers and their names being on the jerseys in the near future is something that's going to happen because the NCAA is dealing with the pressure of fans, like people who are
I'm
invested
gonna be 100.
in this.
It's cheaper just to get the team name, though. It's still cheaper to get the team name.
But they could totally do that, and you're right. They totally could do that. But what they're trying to not do is take the cheap, easy way out. They're waiting for this
I don't believe that.
pressure that's coming from every other angle to crush the NCAA and their bullshit into getting, so that they can get actual player names, so they can annualize this game and make more money in the long run of this game coming out every year with an updated roster and new players.
But the thing about it is the updated roster has been losing them money because the sales of the Madden games have been dropping because the quality's been shit.
No.
Because they've been annualized.
Okay, but
Jalen.
also
Yeah.
we haven't gotten an NCAA
Has
since
it, though?
2014. So
Right,
people
Chris
would buy,
actually
It's been that
plays
long?
Madden, and
people
Chris
would
is
buy
saying
that shit off the name alone. Like, regardless of all
I
the
know
shit
they
that we're
do.
talking
Like, I
right
know
here,
they do.
they
Hold
will go
on.
buy that shit. Like,
Yo, but
I
hear
know
me
you
out,
did.
though. Hear me out. What if we, together, the 5 of us, we make a deal with the players, and we make our own football game. We undercut Madden. We give them half the money to the players, and boom. Billionaires. We got it.
I'm with it.
Okay.
That's easy.
You have my Switch friend code, Ian. We can coordinate this.
We can
like
do
if
it.
nobody
We can
else
do
is
it.
in with this, I'm totally down.
y'all in
We'll
Nintendo's
meet,
voice
we'll-
chat getting to poppin'?
Okay.
Oh my god! Don't even stop. I'm having PTSD.
Via mobile?
You said my bad word. Nintendo voice chat. Stop. No, I can't do it.
Make it stop, mommy.
I don't need your phone number. Give me your Nintendo mobile app.
Ooh, wait. Time out. Wait. I think that Trash Boat 009 actually hit the best idea of everything we just talked about. Forget everything.
Oh,
Make
shit.
an arcade-style anime iShield 21 football game, and then make it with the NCAA players, but an anime action style like NBA Street or NFL Street. Boom! Everybody wins. The anime fans win.
Made
The
by
football
Arc
fans
System
win. The
Works?
players win. There you go.
All right,
It's a win-win.
yeah, I'm with it.
Yeah,
Love it.
Yeah, I can't even. I'm not an iShield
Art-
21 fan.
art
I
by-
read it
art by
occasionally
Yusuke
in
Murata?
Shonen Jump.
Like, come on. Let's fucking get it.
It'd be ridiculous. All right, well, we can talk about EA college football all day, but Jalen, here goes something that I think might actually make you happy. We are getting the
Go
Mass
on.
Effect collection on current.
Okay, no, I have to talk about that because I've been watching the comparison videos because people started making comparison videos. I started watching that shit.
So how do you feel
But
about it? We're getting for anybody listening, we're getting a Mass Effect collection on PS4 and Xbox One, playable via backwards compatibility on the new shiny boxes. That is going to be Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 with all the DLC. I don't think multiplayer is coming through.
No, they're not
despite
gonna do it.
okay, and I mean that's fine. Like I enjoyed Mass Effect multiplayer enough.
No, this
It was a time and place kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally understand.
Oh no, I
Don't put
love Mass
development.
Effect. Like I had a 360 that generation. Like that.
Did
that
you
was-
love the multiplayer in 3?
Yes, I actually did.
Actually,
Yeah, I
actually
enjoyed
multiplayer And I thought that the multiplayer in 3 was fun. I didn't come for it. You know what it's like? It's like when that really like that side of broccoli that you get with your food is actually like pretty good. That's how I felt about the multiplayer. I didn't come here for it. But I
But
tried
you
it.
know
It was pretty
what?
good.
But you know what?
That's all the
There's some
broccoli
butter
I
and
make.
bacon in here. All right, that's a good analogy. I like that.
All right.
That's good.
Like,
So how do you feel about this collection coming out and being what it is, judging by
so
the
number
graphical stuff and all of that?
okay, so it's not just graphical differences. Like for example, in some of the screenshots, Edie from 3 has an entirely different outfit design than she did in the original version of 3. The new lighting is really, really good. So it's like this being a space opera, you got some characters of different skin tones, like Thane's green. Like the green of Thane pops out a lot better in the lighting, or you'll get like the weird subtones in the lighting a lot more now. But I will say, like, you could straight up see that some of these are just brand new models, and I'm with it. And it was nice hearing FemShep be aggressive again, because I'm going Renegade immediately.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm looking
with it.
forward to. So, like, for me, Mass Effect, I was PS3 all the way during that generation, and so Mass Effect 1 just wasn't accessible. And then by the time Mass Effect 2 came out, it was built on the Mass Effect 3 engine. And so, just me going into it, like, they had the face code system. I downloaded a Barack Obama face
Oh
code.
no!
And so
Oh,
I
no.
played as Barack Obama, but like, I was still so
That's
young
good.
and pure that the morality system wasn't just like, I legitimately was probably the only person who finished Mass Effect 2 completely neutral. Like, I
Oh, no,
was
that's the thing.
like,
That
I'll
was actually
say
the
one
thing I
thing
always
evil, one
liked
thing
about-
good.
I've always liked Mass Effect's morality system because it's not treated as morality. It's how do you want to handle it? Are you want to handle it like, you're good boy, good girl, Captain America, we're here to save the world? Or are you going to solve it by punching people? Did you choose violence today?
Yeah,
I choose
think the only-
violence
Pick Renegade,
1 and 2
you chose
times.
violence.
I honestly think that the only way that I'll not be the only way that I won't be good guy Captain America is that they just make the good guy option so incredibly corny that I just
Yeah.
couldn't handle it. Like I feel like
will
whenever
say
I chose,
Mass Effect,
yeah,
and that goes back to the thing I like about Mass Effect. Like Mass Effect is the Paragon option is more I don't want to shoot you in the head.
yeah.
I,
But like I feel like philosophically from those games, like when I play them, I mean even when I play morality games now, I'm always like, okay, like the way they pose it is like, are you an asshole or are you a good person? And I'm like,
yeah.
Listen, even in the digital world, I'm just trying to hang out. I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers or whatever. But the only way that I would ever desire to be a bad guy is if someone is like, the option is like, be a fucking narc and then be a cool guy. Like that should be the next morality system in Mass Effect 5 or whatever. It's like,
I mean,
narc
heck, you
cop
kind of actually
is,
have that
is
morality in the game. It's like you have a reporter literally putting lies in your mouth. You have a choice. You either talk to her and force her and you out-talk her and get her to either A, kind of out the fact that she's been lying on you the entire time, or you punch her in the face.
Yeah, but like that's also a false equivalency too, because like I don't like when people lie, but I don't think I want to punch a lady in the dome like that. I don't know if I had that kind of energy for
She
lying.
was spitting about you. Those
I ain't trying to go to
serve hands.
I'm not trying to go
Like,
to,
she was straight up hard
spousal
lying on your
abuse jail in space. I'm good.
No, you don't go to jail. Hey,
Oh,
you get to
sick.
do it in every single game, and in the third game, she actually is smart enough to duck.
She slaps you back or whatever. Oh god.
No. She ducks and she gets hits with the left hook instead of the right.
Oh no. Well, I guess if you're playing FemShep, it's okay. I would just feel I would feel really bad if like I'm 6'2", bald, male, European model shepherd, and I just uppercut some reporter into the sun, and I'm like, you deserved it for lying? I'm like, people lie all the time. I lied in that playthrough as well. It feels unfair. But,
Yeah, but it's
what are you
also
most
like,
excited
her
about
lies
with this
were-
remake,
But
by
also,
the
it's
way?
like she was lying on your name, saying you were committing like war crimes and shit. This ain't
Oh,
like,
yeah. That's
Shepard didn't go to eat at Burger King, went to McDonald's. No, like straight up, she's like, oh, Shepard's committing war crimes and all. Like this is like this is some QAnon bullshit she started spewing
Oh
for her
no.
own game.
Okay. See, when you frame it like that, now I'm like, okay, maybe I would. Maybe I would do violence if it was a QAnon
Oh
level
no,
thing.
no! Like it's one of those, and that's the thing I like about that scene particularly. Like when you interact with it through the game, she deserves to get hit.
I'm already
you
on the
aren't
bad
gonna
boy
be-
list, so I will not comment, but I agree.
Hey, just don't go lying on people. Just don't lie on people like that. And when you get caught, don't continually try and lie on people like that.
There you go.
all you
What
gotta do.
are you most excited about with this remake? Because I have a question about another remake that I saw, or I guess remaster, whatever you want to call it, that's getting put out, I think, either this year or next year as well. And I want to hear your opinion on this first. What is the most exciting thing about it?
I'm happy to see it because I like the Mass Effect games. I will say, like, Mass Effect 1, like, I replayed Mass Effect 1, I want to say last year during quarantine or some shit like that. And I saw some of the flaws that that they only became noticeable to me now because I played better stuff as time has gone on. but it's a space opera that I enjoy. That's the thing about it. I enjoy the decision making. I enjoy the world. Outside of the ending to the third game, and you could see the crunch that was on Mass Effect 1 and 3. You can see where the crunch was in those two games. But I'm happy to be able to play as Shep again, go through that adventure, and maybe have a better closing argument to it.
I really want to just play Mass Effect 2 again. Like that, for me, Mass Effect 2 is still, to this day, one of my favorite games of all time. And I just want to be able to play that again.
Hell yeah.
Oh, and this just came to my mind. Hopefully they'll put all the gay options in there because Fox News was a bitch.
Gay options is the DLC.
Ended up getting played like that twice.
Yeah. So the question I have for y'all is that, did you guys see this? Speaking of remasters and stuff, did you guys see that Judgment is coming to the PS5 with enhanced graphics and everything? The Yakuza spin-off game.
Yeah, I did see that. For me, I'm waiting until after Like a Dragon comes to PS5 because I want to play the native version. I've never been able to get into a Yakuza game. And so Judgment kind of was my opportunity, but I can't even remember what came out around that time. But I'm waiting for the...
It was Royal. I think P5 Royal was coming out around that time, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Ian's just out here poking holes in all. He's like, you didn't play that shit.
Another game that you didn't play.
No, I'm saying... Well, no, I just remember that. I just remember that because I got both those games and I also didn't play them. So I'm with you. But the reason why I ask all of you guys about the Judgment stuff, especially on today in February of Black History Month, is there was some weird racist stuff happening with the remaster. I don't know if y'all saw it, but they turned. So I saw, again, this is not my opinion. I'm not projecting anything on this, but I saw a couple of Japanese people, and also people who report on this sort of stuff as well, saying that they like did a pink filter over a lot of this game, turning a lot of like the Asian skin tones into like default white guy Aeropostale model filters. So like it still has the same face model, obviously, but the guy just looks white now. And I saw that and I was like, you don't really see it when you see it isolated, but when you see them side by side, you're like, oh.
So they're essentially whitewashed. Like what? Like whose call was it?
So that's the weird thing is that I don't know what you would call it because
that sounds like some localization shit.
Well, I don't even know if it's necessarily personal or like purposeful. I think it's like they had they added a new engine.
Sometimes you'll see like really weird things that don't make sense in an attempt to localize something. Like that's where we get the jelly donut joke from Pokemon.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't know if like someone was in an office in Tokyo, like, well, this one's going to the whites. Let's crank up that pink filter a little bit to appease Joe over there in the U.S. Like, I think it might be a lighting issue thing that people just happen to notice. Like, you see this sometimes with a lot of lighting engines that like I was messing with mods recently this past year with like, with Fallout New Vegas, right? There are some like palette swaps that you'll do to like increase the lighting engine here, but it'll like fuck with the colors a little bit. So that's what I suspect. That like they swapped out a lighting engine going from the PS4 to the PS5, and it just made shit a little bit pinker. But like I saw a lot of native Japanese people being like, "This man is white," and I'm like, he is white. And it was like a funny conversation with me and my wife because obviously if you're watching this, I'm white, obviously. My wife is Japanese. And like, I was like, babe, look, they made the Japanese man white. And then she's like, what? And like, it was this funny back and forth between the two of us. And again, I don't necessarily, Yakuza's been relatively good, especially with Yakuza Like a Dragon with like, inclusion and including more people who are not native Japanese people. Like that game focuses around a lot of Korean and Chinese subculture stuff. They even have an American guy show for a little bit.
Oh shit!
There's a whole that whole thing is so funny. No, he doesn't. That's a whole other story. But yeah. So like it seems like a weird either accident or whatever. I just thought it was kind of funny because we were talking about like the idea of remasters and things getting changed for the better. But I was like, hey, you ever like play a remaster and they just make all the Asian people white instead? Like that is a weird mod you installed there, buddy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, staying on the like PS4 to PS5 remaster train, I started up Control Ultimate Edition today.
Ooh. go
Like,
on.
I heard good things about Control over and over, and
It's a good game. It's a
good.
good game, Anton.
Yeah,
It's a
so
good
far,
game.
so I'm 5 trophies in. I don't know what my hour count or anything like that is yet, like, because I haven't completely closed the game and then reopened it yet, but I'm 5 trophies in. I've answered the phone, which for people who play Control, that'll give you an idea of how far in I am. But, like, yeah, it's coming from Sekiro, which I'll talk about in a little while. Like, this week has been a week of, like, I'm going to just branch out of the usual Apex, Fortnite, like, the regular multiplayer stuff rotation.
Your
that
chat
I've-
games.
Yeah, basically, I'm going to get out of my skipping leg day games, and I'm going to go play some leg day games. And
Do
so,
some
like,
cardio, maybe.
you stretching it here. You stretch.
Stretching's good too. Like, there we go.
There you go. We figured it
Luffy
out.
does it, and he boxes people in the face.
There you go.
But yeah,
That's a whole lot of stretching, though.
Control, I'm finally giving it the chance. Like, the reason I hadn't played it up until now is because the PS4 version versus the PC version, everybody's like, ray tracing's crazy. I'm like, shit, my graphics card can't do ray tracing. Like, I'm just going to hold off on it. Like, I finally held off on this game long enough that I'm playing probably the ideal version for, like, my setup and, like, the hardware that I have. I'm playing the PS5 version in graphics mode. It's locked at 30, unfortunately, but it's giving me ray tracing, and I've played a considerable amount of this game, and it's just, in comparison to a lot of the other... This feels like the first PS5 game that is like a PS5 game, you know? Like,
100%.
this generation's been going on for a minute. Like, I know it's a port of a last-gen game with some added bells and whistles, but for the first time sitting down playing a, like, PS5 title, I feel like I'm just playing a game that looks great, looks like Control right now is my benchmark for third
next
party,
level.
like not because I know Demon Souls looks great and Miles Morales looks great and all that stuff, but those were launch titles. Those weren't really like, and I mean Doom Eternal probably will be the next one of these because I've like kind of stacked up on games that are getting next gen upgrades, but for the first time on PS5, I feel like playing Control is giving me this feeling of playing a current gen game that I haven't felt like I've gotten so far at all on the PS5 generation. Like, sure,
So-
we've gotten stuff like Bug Snacks, and the only like PS5 exclusive game that I've played so far has been Demon Souls, and I didn't even play a lot of that. Like, I would rather play Sekiro on any given day than Demon Souls.
Where's that
So, can I
PS5?
ask you a question, Anton, about Control?
Yeah, what's up?
Did it give you scream-inducing nightmares?
Not yet. I haven't slept yet.
No,
but
Okay.
No, what you got to do is you
Wait,
got to
what?
read enough SCP Foundation so it doesn't affect you at all. That's what you got to do.
No, so here, Control is one of my favorite games of all time, and I'll tell you this: I love horror movies. I'm a huge horror movie guy. My wife loves horror movies as well. Like, I love the original Saw movies and all that shit. I thought that I was like bulletproof going into this game, and for some reason, there's just something about the content of the game. It's like a very specific type of horror, and I think it's like called like industrial horror. Because it's like juxtaposing and like putting you in like an abandoned office building mixed with creepy weird
Right.
shit.
with
Like,
Like,
because
you
I guess
got a
like it's,
refrigerator that if you look away, it will kill you.
yeah, and like shit like that. And I think that like my brain, I think like when you see a Saw movie, right? You're like, oh yeah, they're in a creepy basement. You know, this is the decor of being afraid, right? But like my brain being like, I'm in an Office Depot and I'm about to get yoinked into another dimension. That put me very much not at ease.
Yeah.
So I beat, I think, the base game of Control. And then I go and watch a whole bunch of YouTube videos. I want to know what the real lore is. I want to look at these things. And I watch a I forget his name. I think it's like Kyle something. He's a very popular YouTube essayist, and he talks about this book called like the House of Hidden Leaves, I think it is, which is a lot of the inspiration for Control's wacky architecture. And then I went to bed at like 2 in the morning, like a usual gamer does. You know, the gamer salute. Had to go at 2 a.m. That's how we do.
2 a.m. Those are rookie numbers.
I am. Hey, I'm getting old, man. 2 a.m. as much as I got. I'm LeBron, way past his prime.
So I get it.
Oh my fucking god,
I mean,
y'all are
that's
wild.
like the early. That's the top end. The top end is 2 a.m. The back end is 6. That's what it'd be.
I go to bed at 2, but then I fall asleep by like 5:30 ish.
Well, that's you teens and the TikTok. That's the reason why y'all are not going. Well, y'all are teens to me. I'm old. I got one foot in the grave. But anyway, so then my wife, so I go to sleep, wake up the next morning. I'm like, man, I feel tired. I wonder what's up. And then my wife goes, "Are you okay? Are you good?" And I'm like, "No, but why do you ask?" And she goes, "Well, last night you woke up screaming at the top of your lungs." And I'm like, "About what?" And she said that I was just screaming the door, like, so hey. If you got some shit going on the next day, don't play Control super late. You will have creepy nightmares, apparently, that you don't remember. So that's my little story about Control. I hope you like it.
Shit right there. So you found an SCP, and it got you.
Mm-hmm.
In my brain. That YouTube video was an SCP. It went into my brain, deleted some memories and shit, and here's where we are.
See, all you gotta do is watch Digimon after.
I would recommend reading some SCP, especially the Ouroboros effect, I believe it's called. That was a good one.
Scary.
And actually, that one has a lot of control in it. Like, you could see, like that's the specific story that made me go, oh, Control read a lot of SCP.
Oh, 100%. And what does SCP stand for again? It's like, what is it called? Like, what's the name of it? It stands for something. Right?
Or
everyone watching, Google it right now.
Secure, contain, protect.
There we go.
That's what SCP stands for.
There we go.
I'm glad I wasn't the one to Google that because I heard SEP, and so I would have just been looking at like whatever the hell SEP is on the internet. Everything is something.
It's the abbreviation for September, and we're leaving it at that.
Well, that's cool. Let's rock with
that. That's good.
But one thing I did notice about Control, like when you do go to that creepy, different dimensional world, it reminded me like of Astral Chain, exactly when you would go to the creepy dimensional world. It's literally the same shit. I'm like, this is the same place, just on a different console.
I think that they definitely took similar inspiration, because there's even some vibes of, like, you know, have you guys ever heard of Twin Peaks? I know this is like a foregone conclusion.
No. Like, remember, this is all in the same universe as Alan Wake and Quantum Break. Like, all of this is one universe.
No, for sure. But I'm talking about the other game, Astral Chain. I think that Astral Chain's like goofy weirdness and the other dimension shit does have a vibe of Twin Peaksy adjacent shit, and Japanese people love Twin Peaks. So I think that there is some overlap based off of the original source material, kind of taking small bits and pieces from each other.
Yeah, by the way, if you haven't watched Twin Peaks and you like campy, I'd watch Twin Peaks.
The coffee. Tons of weird bits in that show.
Look, I'm just saying, we need more weird fiction
in
our non-book-based media.
Atlanta is just Twin Peaks for black people, according to Donald Glover.
What'd you just say?
Atlanta is Twin Peaks.
Wait, wasn't that just Lovecraft Country?
No, wait, what is Twin Peaks for black people?
Atlanta.
The show.
Oh, hell yeah! No, 100%. There's definitely there's like weird. What's the word? Magical realism stuff in there. That's like pretty much the definition of Twin Peaks. Yeah, or the fucking oh my god, the episode. Oh my god, what's his fucking name? Teddy Perkins or whatever?
Yeah.
Teddy Perkins. That shit feels like a Twin Peaks episode.
The first commercial break, I was like, whoa, fuck.
I didn't realize it until I went on Twitter after the fact, and they're like, yeah, he was method acting that whole time. Like, the entire time they were shooting that episode, like, he was on set in full makeup.
As Teddy Perkins, yeah. They called him Teddy or whatever, yeah. That was so funny. Speaking of that, isn't Paperboy supposed to be in an MCU movie coming up, I think?
Yeah, he's going to be in the Eternals, I want to say.
And he's in Godzilla, too, actually. In the new one.
Ooh, yo, who's your man?
Look, that's the movie I can't wait for.
Godzilla or King Kong? We know they're going to team up at the end. Just disclaimer.
Yo,
of course, because Mechagodzilla's going to show up. Because
Mechagodzilla's going to
Mechagodzilla's
show
gonna show
up.
up.
Bro.
I'm calling it now.
Bro.
I think they're
It's
gonna
a
fuck
foregone
around and
conclusion,
give us
man.
a Mecha Godzilla and a Mecha King Kong. It just have them 2v2.
That would be crazy. But here's the thing. I'm all for, we're all primates, right? We're all derivatives of monkeys. I get that. Yeah, I want to be on the same team. But, bro, if it's between me and a giant mutant lizard, like, lizards were already going to fuck me up no matter what.
Oops,
like, if you
all
took a normal
lizards.
gecko from my backyard and made him my size.
I lean more towards Kong than Godzilla. A little bit.
What?
You gotta
got
get
lazy.
Have
Kong
you
is-
seen a
because
toke?
here's the
Google,
thing.
hold on.
No, see, here's the
Google
things
toke
you gotta think
geckos.
here's the things you got to think about. Okay, yes. Godzilla has an atomic breath beam. Can be blocked by metal. Does not go through everything in time, which means Kong, who is smart enough to pick up stuff, can deflect it, put Godzilla in a chokehold. Now, what's that beam gonna do? Fire to the
Now-
sky? Hit a plane?
All right,
What you
so-
gonna do in a chokehold?
Okay, so
but
that's
if he's in a
valid.
What's Godzilla
chokehold,
gonna do in a
That's
chokehold?
if
valid.
Godzilla's
That's
in a
valid.
chokehold, hits him
What's
with the
Godzilla
tail.
gonna do in a leg bar?
Hits him
What's
with the
Godzilla
tail
gonna do in a
sweep.
leg bar?
Hits him with the
Is he
tail sweep.
watching
dives
MMA
him off
fights
into
on the
ocean.
island?
What is King Kong
I'm
gonna
just
do?
saying, Godzilla's gonna suplex him. Godzilla's gonna get suplexed. What you gonna do?
No, I agree
Godzilla
with
got beam
that.
blast,
So I
and he
agree with
runs at
that.
you.
So I
King Kong
fully
will suplex you.
So I fully agree with that, but here's the other thing that they fucked up with this movie. Why would they give him an axe and not just go full send up to Asia and just go full Monkey King? Give him a Wukong staff.
Right.
Why just take him
Oh
like?
no, because he stole it from a building.
Give him some.
That's what I'm,
armor.
no, but I'm saying like literally have him like to rip out like the Empire State Building or some shit, and then just have him fucking whip that shit around like some Goku shit. That I'm on. I don't. What
That
is
would be
this?
too powerful.
That's what I'm saying. So, but here's the other thing too is
That'd be
that
too powerful.
here's the thing. We have
Then
people
what's
like
Godzilla gonna do?
Okay,
I got a
but
stick,
can-
and I'll put you in a chokehold.
Can King Kong beat King Ghidorah?
probably not.
If King Ghidorah is smart enough to never land, yes.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Well, no,
impossible.
King Ghidorah was a dickhead, so he will fight them wherever.
No, King Ghidorah would land and get put in a chokehold.
Yeah.
In a multi-arm chokehold.
Okay,
Yeah.
and that's 3 heads on King Kong's ass.
No, that's 3 heads getting tied up.
Hit
like
it with
rope.
the thunder breath. Like no.
King
Jalen,
Ghidorah's gonna get his head
Jalen,
tied together like
I
a
wanna
bow
ask
and then
you this
rolled up in a
question.
joint.
King Ghidorah.
I wanna
is
ask you
built
this
different,
question.
bro.
What?
Jalen, you ever been to
Fam.
Florida before?
Huh?
You ever been to Florida before?
Yes, I have family from there.
Okay, so you know like the idea of crocodiles.
Yes.
So King Kong versus Godzilla is my white ass versus a crocodile, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not betting on me. I'm never betting
See,
on
but
me.
here's the thing. Here's my counter argument. Because I've seen every Godzilla movie ever made. I've seen them all.
Okay.
Godzilla does not death roll.
So what you're saying is I have a chance.
Yeah.
When I go visit my Jewish grandparents this summer, I have a chance.
And also the thing, and also it's a and also it's a crocodile. It's a gator. They have closing power. They don't have opening power. So if Godzilla is a gator, all King Kong got to do is just hold his mouth shut.
Actually,
What
you know
you
what?
gonna do
Maybe I'm Team Kong now because that is science.
Godzilla
That
got a
is
big
true.
girthy
Supposed to
tail,
beam out.
though.
You
True.
can't even open your mouth. How
Godzilla
you
got a
supposed
big
to atomic
girthy
beam
tail.
out?
King
Give
Kong's
yourself
not about
indigestion.
to. King Kong's
Enjoy
not about
that.
to eat like a tail whip from that shit and just be okay. You know, he's not about to just forearm.
King Kong can catch that shit.
He's not about to just forearm
Imagine
Godzilla.
tail whipping
just
something that
fucking
can
block
catch
that
it.
shit.
So this is the last thing I'll say about this. The thing that makes me kind of mad is that they just like, you know how in the last movie they were like, oh, this monkey's a baby. He's growing. Look at this monkey. Like, and they're like, that's the excuse why he grew like 100 feet in like
Yeah.
2 years or whatever the fuck. I wish that they were like keep him the smaller size, right? And then make the fight more interesting. Like maybe he's more agile or whatever. Maybe he's like really good with tools, right? We
But
could
the
do
thing about
that
it is you
fucking.
gotta compensate for the fact that Godzilla has grown over the years. Like,
No,
remember,
for sure.
Godzilla's size
For
is
sure.
always relative to the size of Tokyo now.
No, for sure. I agree, but I'm saying that like as a like from a movie standpoint, right? Like I understand like the movie shit, you got to have it like be a big punching brawl or whatever. I understand that. But as from a visual spectacle standpoint, wouldn't it be interesting if it was like he was like maybe half the size of Godzilla, but he was like hella fast or whatever, or like was like 10 times smarter? Then to me, that's a more interesting fight than
You give him a
big
gun?
monkey versus big lizard. Yeah, give the monkey a gun. Like
Give him
get
a shotgun.
no,
About it,
no,
I-
not a gun, not a gun.
here's the
Okay,
thing,
but here,
but
what about
also, I will
Ebola?
never not love comically large weapons though. Like I will never love the idea
sure.
of seeing King Kong rip a rip some weapon off an ad and start beating somebody with
No,
it.
and I love
is
that
hilarious
too.
to me.
But like, can you imagine? Like, I just think it would be. I'm like the anime fucking fight analyzer, so I'm like, yo, but what if he had a tail still,
no,
or what if
I
he
see
was
what you're
this?
saying.
Like that would be interesting.
I just think
But
the
yeah.
fact that making King, like, I just feel like by making King Kong smaller, you betray the fact that at the end of the day, this is a giant kaiju movie.
I guess that's true. But then, okay, wait, here. I'm going to get you on my side right now. Everyone's going to agree with this idea universally. This will solve all arguments that
World
anyone's ever
peace.
had. That too. Hear me out. X-Men Colossus style fucking fastball special with Godzilla throwing a giant monkey at Mechagodzilla. Tell me that doesn't give you an image in your head of them of just like him just being like, and like just throwing him like a fucking baseball at a giant robot. Tell me that doesn't
He's still got them
activate
small.
something.
He would have to do it with like his tail.
That
here
too.
for it.
That's even cooler. A fastball special.
That would be fun. That would be fun. But then also, I kind of do like the idea of King Kong and Godzilla being the same size, doing the printer scene from Office Space on Mechagodzilla.
Or like doing the Predator handshake, like who knew we could fight together, monkey?
Aaron ain't do nothing.
Just like the
wrong.
two. Okay, hear me out. This is my perfect Godzilla. They have the fight. They do nothing at the very end of the movie. They fight Mechagodzilla, whatever the fuck. They win, and then they just turn to each other and they're like, they do that thing from fucking Lord of the Rings where it's like, I never thought I'd be fighting with a monkey. And it's like, I never thought I'd be fighting with a lizard. They do the Predator handshake. Cut to black. No one explains that they both spoke English to each other. No one there's no explanation, and that's just they do the Predator handshake and then it's over. Like that. That's my version of this movie.
No, they just have the end from Samurai Champloo when they go to fight and then both their swords break. And they just
There
sit
you go.
there and they're like,
All right.
walk away.
Well, this is it.
Right?
No, honestly, I kind of want the movie to end with Godzilla and King Kong just talking shit about humans the entire time.
Like,
Being
damn,
like,
man.
these motherfuckers are so self-centered. Thought we were out here fighting each other, dealing with their dumbasses.
I want to go.
Yo,
you want to go destroy this
These
city?
These motherfuckers brought me over here on a boat. And then
But
Godzilla's
so-
like, what's a boat?
Just for pure lore, Jalen, since you've seen all of them, is Mechagodzilla like a man-made thing, or is like...
Yes, no. What they did is okay. So
The kaiju made
technically,
it.
The Godzilla that fights Mechagodzilla is the child of OG Godzilla, and they took the bones of OG Godzilla, casted them in metal on some Evangelion shit, and made Mechagodzilla.
Okay, so
So he's got to fight
is
his
the
mom.
Godzilla that's about to fight King Kong, are either of these the originals?
No.
Or is
We're
this a
technically in a
new
new timeline. We're technically in a new timeline.
This is the new
So
test.
this is OG Godzilla and not Child Godzilla fighting his dad's adamantium bones.
If Mechagodzilla shows up, then it will be probably fighting your mom's adamantium bones.
That's crazy. Your mom dies, you gotta fight her ghost with metal on it. I don't want that for
Yeah,
anyone else.
like that's why Godzilla in the Mechagodzilla
Evangelion.
movie. That's why Godzilla went to Tokyo in the first place because we're like
fight his
Godzilla
mom.
was like something's not right in the world.
Huh.
Like something's really really wrong.
They're doing
and then
some
come to find
bullshit.
out, the Japanese decide to make a weapon out of the bones of your mother.
That's fucked up. But this is the last thing I'll
fucked up.
say about Godzilla. Do you think that we're gonna get a post-credit scene of all Japanese speaking, no subtitles, nothing, and then it says in Japanese we're fine, like they're coming back, and then it just has Shin Godzilla coming in the next round or whatever, and it's Godzilla
Actually,
that
they've been
from
implying something like that in this movie.
That'd be pretty.
Apparently-
I think they're
That'd be
supposed to
pretty
Back in the
sick,
day,
though.
there was a giant
Power
kaiju war,
Rangers.
and I think this is just the next round. Like the last round was Godzilla fighting over to be the king of monsters,
But Shin
King
Godzilla
Kong
though.
wasn't in that fight. King Kong was supposed to be there.
But Shin Godzilla though. What if they showed up though? Wouldn't that be sick? I want to see that. It looks evil.
Look, I will say, if there's any Godzilla I don't want to fight, it's Shin Godzilla.
That's
Shin
what I'm
Godzilla's
saying.
The problem.
That's what I'm saying. That would be interesting. Anyway, Anton, continue
down with it.
no more side topics. Anton, continue the show. Go. You're free.
Sekiro. I want to fight
There we go.
Godzilla in that shit. But yeah,
No, you the fuck you don't.
I kind of do. So I picked up Sekiro.
How you gonna parry an
if you-
atomic beam?
if you
How you gonna parry that
If
shit?
you struggle
that
with
doesn't
Genichiro,
the same way I
you
did
struggle-
it to fucking Genichiro.
Nah, if you struggle with Genichiro, you don't want to see Godzilla, bro. That's what it is.
I mean,
funny.
you know, so what happened was I was kind of in this like boredom phase with games, as I typically will get into in between big releases. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck I feel like playing. And part of me was like, you should play Bloodborne. Part of me was like, I'll pick up Bloodborne, you know, get into the whole gothic eldritch horror, like completely fuck up my dreams for the next 6 months
Best
of my
FromSoft
life.
lore out there. I'm saying it now.
What, Bloodborne? Or
Yeah.
Sekiro?
When it comes to lore, FromSoft was really in their bag on that one.
Well, yeah, and I mean, so I kind of just went down the list of like, should I pick up Demon Soul? Well, I have Demon Souls on PS5. Should I start that? Should I start Bloodborne? Should I maybe, you know, start with Dark Souls Remastered, like start up the Dark Souls trilogy? But like somehow I landed on Sekiro because people have just been, every time somebody talks about that game, they're like, just parry, just get the timing down on the parry, and you'll be a god. Just parry. And I was like, I feel like I could get the timing down on the parry more than actually learning mechanics of the game. And so I picked up the game. I was stuck on the Blazing Bolt and Lady Butterfly literally since that game came out. Like, I got to both of them and was just like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm terrible at video games, and this is why I don't play FromSoft games. But I picked it up, and in one night, I beat the Blazing Bull and Lady Butterfly, and I was like, okay, I'm starting to feel this. And apparently, like, not playing any other FromSoft games before playing Sekiro makes you better at Sekiro than people who actually played other FromSoft games, because they had a lot of unlearning to do. So, like, for instance, like, Juwan, Darren, and Zach will be my 3 examples. All 3 of them struggled getting into Sekiro because they had so much ingrained knowledge from Dark Souls and from Bloodborne. And so when Sekiro came out, they were just like, this is the hardest of all of these games. But for me, Sekiro was the one that when I picked it up, I got the furthest in out of any of the others, because I have Demon Souls, all the Dark Souls, Sekiro, and Bloodborne all on my PS5. I just have them there staring me in the face, telling me I'm bad at video games. But, and of course Darren's in chat saying he didn't struggle at all. I was there, Darren. I was in the PSN party with the frustration. Don't try me. I'll pull up the receipts that I don't actually have. But, yeah, so I picked up Sekiro, and I started getting the feel for it. Like, I was listening to a podcast, and they were one of the guys on the podcast had just platinum Sekiro, and I felt like I was like, you know, I'll just come home, I'll try it out, you know, see how it feels. Beat the Blazing Bolt and Lady Butterfly in a day, and then I struggled against Genichiro for 3 days straight, and then finally murdered the shit out of him. Like, and I'm starting to see the appeal of these games. So I've never really been able to get into a FromSoft game, because I'm like, I have better ways to spend my time. I can play something. I can play Monster Hunter, which has its own set of difficulty, but just isn't going to tell me I died every 2 minutes.
You died. Listen, man, I can be mad for free. I don't need a game to help me. That's why I don't play those games.
Especially in 2021. Like, I just went through 9 months minimum of just, well, I mean, we're at a year now of just stress-inducing life. So I don't need additional stress placed upon my shoulders, you know?
Yeah.
But it's that sense of accomplishment after you finish it.
Yeah, that sense of accomplishment is a serious-ass drug.
100%. But Sonny, my only counter to that is this. So before Anton was talking about the Monster Hunter comparison, right? So in Monster Hunter, right, I think the systems are a little bit more simplified to the point where there is no real easy way out of any Monster Hunter fight, right? You either get some more armor spheres to up your armor, you get a weapon that is weak to that monster's like baseline element, but at the end of the day, it's you versus the monster, right? And there aren't really, like, enough things going on for you to, like, cheat the monster or whatever, right? With Bloodborne, or not Bloodborne, with Dark Souls, Sekiro, and is there another? Not Bloodborne, because Bloodborne, I think, kind of avoids this to a certain extent. But a lot of these Dark Souls adjacent games have this, like, use this item to break the fight half the time that I've played. And it feels like there is the camp of, like, you know, learn the fight, bash your head against it, like really sit down, analyze shit. But then half the time when I'm playing these games, I'm like, oh, if I use the fucking like I think it was like in the Madam Butterfly fight, it's like use this random throwing star weapon halfway through her animations and it breaks her for like 2 seconds. I'm like, oh, how the fuck would I have fucking known this if I wasn't just going through every single item during every single part of her thing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's kind of sometimes where I always kind of have this this frustrating back and forth with a lot of Souls fans where I'm like, hey, I get you in theory, and that's why I love Monster Hunter, but then the other part of me is like, it's just like, if there wasn't like a, hey, dummies, use this technique to cheese it, that actually works. I'm like, oh, then what the fuck? I'm not going to sit here just screaming at my television for 10 hours. Fuck that. I'll find the easiest way to do it. You know what I mean? And maybe that's like a personal thing, but I don't know. What do you think about that, Anton?
I mean, I see what you're saying, and I felt that way about a lot of it. And like you said, Bloodborne skips this problem entirely.
Bloodborne, I feel like, has this problem more than Sekiro has this problem. Bloodborne has play the music box.
No.
I definitely cheesed.
That only works on one boss.
I definitely cheesed
only works twice.
The bosses that.
And if you use it more than twice, he immediately enrages, and you're forced into his final form.
Oh no, I didn't know
that. If you use that thing 3 times, he immediately enrages. Okay, you have to deal with the hard part immediately.
The thing about Father G, though, the way the graves are set up, you can kind of get him like stuck on the grave and just like you can hit him, but he can't hit you.
Positioning, but even then, it that only lasts until he does his wide swing, which clears out the graves.
Okay. Okay, I was just using Bloodborne because I played that one the most.
He had that axe, put it over his head, and all of a sudden I'm like,
you're just done. But yeah, I was just using that as the comparison because I had played that one the most, and I felt as though that clicked with me the most, and I think I played that right after playing Dark Souls 3. Where, like, when I got stuck in bosses in Dark Souls 3, like, there's the Zeus guy or whatever the fuck, like, the giant hair Zeus guy. And, like, the fight guides were like, okay, well, use only this weapon at this level. This will stagger him for this amount of time. You go behind him and do this. I'm like, that's so incredibly specific. Like, with Bloodborne, like, there were, like, 7 or 8 weapons or whatever.
Part of the problem that I've been having with guides lately is that a lot of the guides are designed to just break the fight. Instead of giving me the tips I need to deal with it.
Yep.
I feel like it's like, take this weapon, take this is the key. It's like, I don't need the key, I need to know at what point does he drop that stupid overhead that keeps killing me.
That's actually that's a very insightful thing to say, I think, because I was looking at it from that POV of like YouTube guides. The problem probably isn't the fight. The problem is the source of the information that I'm getting. That might be it, honestly.
I mean, that's part of it, because it's like, while you do have like, there's an item or there's a technique that'll just break the boss, if you have the foundation of the mechanics down, all you're really learning is when that overhead's coming out, so you can block high and get on with your life. Like,
hell yeah. Well, I had never thought of that. And also, hello to everybody in the raid right now. I don't know if it's bad karma to say hello to everybody.
Shout out
thanks,
Dave.
Shout out Dave.
Hello, sir.
Hey.
We're talking about Bloodborne and Dark Souls.
Yeah,
and things like that.
Definitely talking about.
But honestly, out of all these games, I haven't played a Dark Souls or Demon Souls yet. I have access to them now, so I might give it a try. Well, not Demon Souls, clearly, but I fucked with Sekiro the most, and a lot of it is for me it's aesthetics. Like, it's the setting of Sekiro that really sells it for me. Like, being in those samurai style fights and like hearing the clink 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 of the swords, like getting those deflections and like. That shit was just super satisfying to me, and I finally kind of started to understand. I'm like, oh, so this is probably why people play this. Like,
Yeah, and so for me, Sekiro it's the least focusing on your stats or focusing on your upgrades. Like, legitimately,
I don't have to manage how heavy
they took the RPG mechanics.
I don't have to manage how heavy this weapon is. Like,
right,
I hate that. I fucking hate
I like
weapon
that.
weight.
I like that because it changes. Because it gives the.
That's why I hate about
Neo. It gives all the weapons a definitive feel and style to it. It's like, okay, I get to roll twice if I got a big one, but I get that extra bit of damage. Or do I go smaller? I got the mobility, so I can just circle straight from the death.
Well,
How do I want to handle
like
this?
the reason I like Sekiro is because it feels the most like a character action game, and it gives me the platinum games like Bayonetta and Nier kind of feel of. I'm not necessarily balancing all these stats in my head and going through this spreadsheet and like min-maxing my character. I'm just a dude with a sword. Like, I almost never use my shinobi tools. Like, my entire fight with Lady Butterfly, I use the firecrackers against the Blazing Bull, but Lady Butterfly, the Blazing Bull, and Genichiro, I didn't use anything. I just used my pure raw skill and just like trial and error against him. And it felt way better when I actually was able to beat him using that.
No, that fucking axe to Genichiro's face.
No,
Man, there's nothing like it. Oh,
I
man.
definitely didn't use that at all.
It's the first sip of an ice cold beer. Like, that shit was amazing. It was that first cut into a sheet of construction paper. You know what I'm saying?
When you hear that,
What a specific feeling! That first slice of the construction.
but actually,
paper.
what you were saying about setting is why Bloodborne is my favorite.
Same,
I
I think,
I
yeah.
like how the setting plays into the mechanics.
Right.
Like in the other FromSoft games, you get hurt, you want to heal, you use an item. In Bloodborne, you get that health back. Go back in there, get that health back. They stole that from you.
I'm just going to drink from
Hell
my
yeah.
sake gourd, you know?
Right? Yeah.
Nah, go back in there, take that health back. That's mine. That belonged to me.
Yeah, and that's why Bloodborne's my second favorite. Like, Bloodborne was my favorite until Sekiro came out, and now Sekiro just... the aggressive feeling and, like, the flow of gameplay, I feel like if they're attacking me, I need to either deflect it, Mikiri counter it, like, I have a limited subset of
Also,
things to do, and
like,
I just need to manage
Fucking
those.
top 2 usage of a grappling hook in video games. I can't tell you what number 2 is, but that's number 1.
Pathfinder and Apex, because there's nothing like hitting someone with the grappling hook while you got a Mastiff,
Boom.
and you're just careening over towards them with a shotgun.
Boom. Shit. Titanfall.
That will never not be funny.
Titanfall 2. Like, grappling in
Hell
that
yeah.
shit. It's just aerial combat.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely Titanfall's grapple hook
Heck,
is top
Titanfall
tier.
just wanted you to fly. That's all Titanfall did. They're like, we just want you to fly. It's amazing.
Hell yeah.
No.
But yeah,
So-
I mean, we've covered the majority of the stories, and we've gone almost double the time of usually. Like, Ian, thank you for just breathing life into episode
Milking
199.
out
Like,
some extra
I got
content.
y'all. No
You're
problem.
the
It was my
farmer.
pleasure. Yeah, exactly. No, like y'all. I want to say a huge shout out to y'all specifically because a while back I was looking for people to talk anime with, and I didn't have my own personal Discord. I didn't really have a large group of people to talk manga with, and obviously, friend of the show Darren, aka XX. I don't know how many X's this guy's got. A billion X's. Shadow Okami.
It's 3 on the front, 3 in the back.
There we go.
2.
No, 2 in the front, 2 in the back.
See, it's
I'm
more
the-
complicated than we thought.
They gave him 2 extra X's, my bad. 2 front, 2 back.
So
You just got a legion
Darren
of
recommended.
evil exes.
There you go. But Darren recommended me to go and check out y'all's Discord. And every weekend, man, we're in there talking about manga, talking about whatever's new. And that is no joke. That has been a highlight of my week. So when you guys asked me to be on, I'm like, of course, I owe you. Of course, there's no problem. So I appreciate the invite.
Yeah, thanks for
Well-
coming through, bro.
Yeah, hell yeah.
yeah.
Anytime.
I mean, we got one more story that I talked about in the intro, so I feel obligated to actually
No, let's
talk
do it.
about
Let's do it. I'm so down.
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
Gearbox got acquired by the Embracer Group, which is formerly THQ Nordic, which has also
sounds
bought
evil.
up like a
Everything.
ridiculous. Yeah, they have 58 studios in their stable of developers.
Where are they getting
What
this
the
money from?
Right.
Who knows? Like honestly, and if-
Banks.
Sure.
Literally, banks.
There we go.
About that.
They shorted out GameStop like the rest of us.
Okay, bet.
That's why.
Heck, I'm just saying, we taking that GME to the moon.
There we go, baby. But so what is
Yeah.
this? What is the implications of this, Anton? I know that like the Enforcer Group does sound like an evil megalomaniacs like business group, but what does that mean
I mean,
for
it's more
for
the consolidation of game development.
well,
But like, what does
so-
that mean for like the layman? Because I am that person. I have no idea what. Like, I know that Randy Pitchford did the medieval times porn thing. That's all I know about Gearbox at this point.
Look, Randy Pitchford is a
Fucking
problem for that
Pitchford.
company. That's just that entirely.
The fact
that man is a problem.
So they've been going around. They came back. They started off as THQ Nordic, and they started off by buying up all the old THQ properties. They're kind of. It seems like we're going to start getting AA games again
Okay.
because they brought back
The Forgotten
Darksiders.
Tier?
They brought back Battle for Bikini Bottom. They brought back. They're bringing back Tak and the Power of Juju. Like all of these mid-tier games that people have complained about. They're like, we have no in between. It's either super small indie or super big AAA. Now we're getting
I
to the
feel
point.
like we've had some double A bangers over the years that just that get credit the year they come out, but no one remembers them afterwards. We've gotten a few.
Yeah, we've gotten a few. Now we're in
Specifically Hellblade.
So we're gonna
specifically Hellblade.
Are we gonna get Tekken the Power of
using
Coochie now?
specifically to mention Hellblade.
But that's one thing that now has Microsoft behind it, and the next Hellblade is going to be a AAA thing. We're not going to be
that's my
getting
point. That goes back to my opinion on this, which is this is part of the consolidation of game studios.
Well, no, this is going to bring back that middle tier in a way that nobody else has been able to bring back that middle tier.
I feel like the middle tier has officially been consolidated into the Embracer group. Like, it's going to sound like we're getting a bunch of different games from a bunch of people, but they're all owned by the...
Yeah, but they
Embracer
own...
group?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying.
They bought they bought up all the THQ properties that THQ left in the dust when they went bankrupt over Udraw several years ago, and then they bought up like Deep Silver, which had Volition, which had like Saints Row, so that's why we got a Saints Row remastered on Switch a while ago. That's why we got Darksiders 3 in Genesis. That's why we got Battle of Bikini Bottom rehydrated. So I see a lot of these properties that wouldn't have just come back or gotten any thought in the modern consciousness of the games environment. Like, sure, they are buying up all these studios, but judging by their output since these studios have been bought up, it seems like what they're doing is they're taking a lot of these games that would have been stranded, would have just totally been abandoned a long time ago by the general gaming population, and they take all these things and they put them in front of a new audience that didn't have the experience with these games. Like, the amount of people our age who played Battle for Bikini Bottom when we were younger, that now there are actual kids who are into modern SpongeBob who can play that game on their PS4 or their Xbox One that they got for Christmas a few years ago. So I'm not sure. They still could totally, like, don't trust corporations. They're not your friends. Like, at the end of the day, we could look back at all of this happening and see, like, negative repercussions of the fact that pretty much everything of a AA quality at this point, and even like smaller than that, like in the mobile space, they're buying up a lot of
quick
developers.
Question: what realm would you put the games Devolver publish? Where would you put
indie, squarely in indie? Because a lot of them have that pixel art aesthetic. Like, we still think of them
aesthetics.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's not. That is on a very different. It could even be single A. That's a different tier.
But because I feel like also
a lot of times
I feel like also there's separation.
Too.
What was that, Sonny? Say it again.
No, I was just saying, like, I feel like this is just like a more popular like indie group, and like a lot of those games they publish more than anything.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna fully agree with you on that. I feel like a lot of those games are like one to 5 people teams, and then Devolver's like, this fits our aesthetic, this our mood essentially, and then that's kind of how they get picked up. It feels very much like a Cartoon Network adjacant vibe, where it's like, oh,
like
we
an
have
Adult
like
Swim vibe.
Yeah, like they acquire talent or they acquire certain shows based off of like, you know, I think it was like, wasn't like Squidbillies originally like a web short that got like adapted based off of its popularity online. So it feels a lot like that sort of a situation where it is a smart, brand-aware company acquires very small teams to then do the harder end of it. Whereas I think what Anton was saying is that I totally agree that the consolidation of a lot of medium studios that are trying to do AAA that not necessarily can do that, having them hopefully be consolidated, again, like Anton said, be wary of any corporation, big or small, right? Because they don't care about you. But let's hope that they take the responsibility of consolidating all these properties together and create a system that helps the medium-sized places create medium experiences, which only helps create a deeper, more fleshed out gaming space as opposed to what we have now. So, but we'll see.
Yeah, and like just from Embracer Group themselves, like I got Darksiders 1 and 2, the like definitive editions on PS4, and it was cool to go back to Darksiders 1 and they're kind of rejuvenating franchises that are in this space of like, if I want a character action game, right now my options are kind of limited. But they have the opportunity to explore different genres that aren't going to be picked up by the AAA. Like, there's not going to be a PlayStation first-party character action game in the vein of Darksiders 1 anytime soon. And there's also, it's going to be really hard for a small indie team of people who are, like, it's 4 or 5 developers on a team, like, crunching like crazy to try and put out this game. We're also not going to get that same caliber of game from that small. So while it is one thing trying to monopolize the middle market, I feel like the good that they're doing in the industry is by giving the middle market some money, because Borderlands kind of falls squarely into that. Like, they bought Gearbox, and Gearbox published Godfall, and Gearbox did the entire Borderlands franchise, but those don't necessarily meet the highs of a current gen AAA release. In the vein of anything that Microsoft or Sony or Nintendo are putting out in their first party, but it's also not all the way down in the... And I know that Microsoft bought Double Fine and stuff like this, but like when I think about like even like the single A development stuff, like they're filling a void that is in the space that like I see Madrid and Ian both nodding along. Like, this is a space, like, we don't always necessarily need this blockbuster fucking God of War, The Last of Us. Yeah. Like, and then we don't always also need our Fez or our Carry On or something small like that. Sometimes we want something, like, I feel like Control almost falls into this. It's on the higher end, but Control's not.
No, that's Control is a AAA game.
Well,
that is a AAA
visually,
game.
But I think that Anton's talking about like just what the game is asking of you. Like, if you like made that a little bit less higher fidelity, like it's a very basic shooting game with some minor puzzle elements.
Okay, then let's speak on this. What is a AAA game asking you mechanically that a AA game or lower would not be asking?
I think the thing with AAA games is less about like the mechanics of the game. Is more of the scope of who it's going to reach out to.
No, that's true. Yeah, the scope.
Because as far as AAA, really like
just
God
how much
of War,
money you're pumping into production.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, how much is this game supposed to make this company?
Yeah. And it's actually, I think Anton nailed it.
That's why I was asking that, because I always felt like Borderlands was a AAA game.
Because Pokemon is a AAA game that they treat like a fucking like
a mobile game.
Double A, like
yeah. I think it like Borderlands.
Time into it.
Yeah.
I think that Borderlands was really capitalizing on a stylistic choice, but again, I think that. And we kind of hit the nail on the head that mechanically it isn't really an issue. It's more of the scope, right? You know, Borderlands is the gameplay loop is good, the style is good, because they capitalized on this very specific genre of style at the time, right? But I think that kind of like, this reminds me of, the Walking Dead visual novel people.
Telltale.
Who are they? Yeah, Telltale. So like, Telltale, like, that is, I think, right in the middle of a AA game where it's like, it's not asking you a whole lot. The scope is relatively small, but it is very popular and they have good assets and style. But it might take a little bit more money because you're asking maybe famous people to like do voices, or like it might need to be associated with a already attached property. I think that's kind of what, Anton was saying earlier, is that there is something between, Omori, like that indie game that was made by Omocat, and like, Halo. Like, there is something in between that kind of, I think, blends, hopefully, in a perfect world, the best parts of both. A medium-scaled game that doesn't need the massive ROI of, like, a League of Legends, but also isn't made by two guys in Thailand alone in a basement.
Sometimes
you know what I mean? Like, there's something like that.
I fully agree that we have a need for that. I just don't feel like that it's coming as much from the emergent group as we're giving it credit for. Part of the reason why is because of the interactions between certain genres and consoles.
Oh, for sure.
No, definitely.
But cautious optimism.
Disco Elysium is a AAA game. You cannot tell me it's not.
Oh, no, for sure.
But then that's a game that's asking a bunch, and it does a lot.
But it's a niche. It's a niche in its theming. Like Halo and Disco Elysium both have amazing things that they do, but like Disco Elysium is like, hey, you're like handing someone like Jane Eyre. You're like, hey, read this book out loud to me right now. And then Halo is like, hey, watch this action movie.
No. That game is a
Right.
That's a lot of strategy RTS in that.
No.
game.
I meant like
you have
it's,
to be positioned.
No, for sure. But I mean like
I
I
see
meant
what
I
you-
meant so insofar as that I think that hopefully this will give games that maybe aren't as openly accessible to everybody. Like Halo, I think is a very baseline. Every video game player could enjoy that, right? But I think that is not necessarily something that is universal. I saw the
Actually,
skateboard thing, by the way. That was very
I
funny.
don't think shooters are the universal genre. I don't believe it is.
Well, I mean, again, you know what I mean. Regardless, I think that this could fill this in between space that we're talking about.
Right,
and
we had this in between space a lot more in the PS2, PS3 generation, and then it kind of fell away with THQ going bankrupt in the PS4, Xbox One generation, and then having the additional. Having
I
a
wanna
lot
add-
of these developers and a lot of these studios that kind of didn't have anywhere to go in that time.
So it's
finally
essentially the
have
middle class
somewhere-
being erased. That's what you're saying? Like,
Yeah, no, it's that because you also got to think about it. Square used to make middle market games. Sony used to make middle market games. Like a lot of the people who used to make middle market games don't make middle market games anymore.
Not anymore.
It's because it's not
Like-
where the money
Right.
resides.
Right, and that's part of the thing that I like, the fact that the Embracer Group is bringing giving these studios just the raw cash to do what they need to do, and like the fact that they own so many studios. Like I'm still extremely trepidatious about the fact that Sony could barely handle like the amount of studios in the double digits, and like Microsoft's having all these issues. Dealing with
the dog.
yeah, my dog.
I love the creaking noise. The creaking noise was
What's about
good.
it though is one thing I feel like has to be acknowledged is that a lot of games, and this comes to the reason why we keep getting sequels, is that a lot of these franchises started as middle market games.
Yeah.
Hitman was a middle market game. Call of
That's
Duty was
true.
a middle market game.
Right, but when they ascended beyond that, this is giving a lot of teams the
No, but
ability.
that's my point though. Is that the middle market game? They just stopped making it.
For sure. But I think what Anton is arguing is that hopefully that the ROI will be low enough for these games because of the collective money that the Embracer Group is giving them, that more risks can take place, for example. A lot of times
Yeah.
things
I
become
don't
sequels
actually see
because
risk
of that.
coming in. I feel like they're just gonna play into the THQ nostalgia, like Battle
but
for Bikini Bottom, Tack in the Bower of Juju, like.
But that's still good to a certain extent.
Borderlands. Think about what the next Borderlands is. I don't think it'll be Borderlands
They're gonna.
4. Think
you know
the
what?
next.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you right now.
DLC?
Borderlands writing has gotten progressively worse
That's true.
as the games have gone
I
on.
agree. But again, that's
That's the thing. Like, and that's
yeah.
another thing about Borderlands is that we keep bringing up Borderlands. Borderlands as an entire franchise ain't that good.
No, that's valid.
Like,
But I
yeah,
mean,
like,
that's
straight
what
up, like,
Gearbox is
the-
known for.
At least in the modern day.
yeah,
for
I know.
sure.
But what I'm saying is just.
I mean,
What I'm just saying-
Embracer Group just spent $3.1 billion on the Embracer
Where are they
Group.
getting this fucking
on,
money?
I mean,
Okay. Like I understand. Like I hope Anton's right. I hope we're getting a bunch of brand new middle market franchises that will then ascend to be the AAA, and we can keep the cycle going. I would love for that to happen.
Again,
But I also
cautious optimism.
see
Cautious
that they're just going to
optimism.
play to nostalgia and just pretty much just use all those THQ franchises they already got to just give us what we already had.
We'll see.
It is what it
We'll
is.
see. Yeah.
I'm looking for
mean,
like
we'll
a
see.
list of Embracer Group actual releases because they've been
I-
snatching up companies
I
for a
think they're
while.
more obsessed with like snatching up companies over putting out actual products. I think they're getting off on it.
Well,
honestly.
the last thing they dropped was SpongeBob.
it was SpongeBob
Because, it was either SpongeBob or Desperados 3, because Biomutant isn't out yet.
All right,
Or
yeah,
was,
I
it or was it the Kingdom of Amalur remake?
I mean, yeah, they did Kingdom of Amalur Re-Reckoning, which
Re-Reckoning.
had its audience. Like, I know people who were
but the audience
excited
didn't
as
like
shit.
it. The audience didn't like it. The port wasn't that good. It had problems.
I mean, I guess that's true.
you know, they'll
But
throw
again,
some money
cautious
at it.
optimism. Cautious optimism. That is the final
that's where I stand
end all
with
be all.
this. Yeah, it's cautious optimism. Like, I feel like there's this void that has games that not necessarily all of them will be for me, but there'll be some that are in there that are definitely up my alley. And so, like, I'm excited to see when bankrolled with a shitload of cash, what some of these studios do.
We'll see. Fingers crossed. Gamer fingers crossed.
Infinite void.
Exactly.
Well, thank you again, Ian, for coming on the podcast.
Of course.
Thank you. Like, we definitely have to have you back. Like, I'm planning an anime thing, and just
Ooh.
your big brain analysis that you start, like, the essays
Actually, Ian,
you drop.
you and I need to talk about Evangelion.
Let's
That's
do
what we
it.
need to do.
I'm always open. Again, you guys gave me the outlet to talk my shit every Sunday. I greatly appreciate that.
Yeah,
That's why
you drop
the
like
door's
a
open.
paragraph per manga,
Right, like you
per
drop an
week.
actual review.
Well, listen. Here's the thing. I read the manga, and I'm like, where do I go? Where are my boys at that read manga? All right, here. And then I just drop my essay, and then I dip, and then I come back after doing my chores, and then all I see is 100 eye emojis. Like, damn, speak your shit, King. I'm like, see, this is what I only get positive compliments from y'all, so that's why I'm always coming back.
If you ever need to scream in the void about a manga, come to our Discord.
Yeah.
The Cheesy
Yes.
Controller podcast Discord is where if
drop one
it's
in.
early on in the series, go to Weep shit. If it's late, go to spoilers.
Yes.
Talk your shit.
100%. And that is the I think the hardest thing for any person out there making anything is like getting a group of contemporaries and people that agree with them, or even just like can communicate like week to week on stuff. That's essentially what a podcast is, right? So the fact that y'all not only have this, but also have like a great community of people who like every week just go in and start talking, like whether it be Monster Hunter, if we're trying to get people together for Monster Hunter, or, just people talking shit about, the manga that came out that week. It's like an awesome place to go. So I highly recommend everyone go and hit that Discord, !Discord, if it's on there in the stream. But yeah, that's my final plug is for y'all. So thank you.
Thank you. Yo, check out his YouTube, A+ Anime.
Yeah. Definitely.
Don't
100%.
do it. Never do it. Don't do it. It's a
Join
trap.
his Discord. I've been accidentally getting like mobile notifications from your Discord for like the last 2 weeks.
Your
hacked your
notifications
phone.
I mean,
are
like-
not muted.
I hacked your phone. No, they are muted. I just
A lot
hacked
of my
his phone.
Discords, the
I got your social
notifications
security
are
number, Anton. I got you. I was the one who
I
installed
shouldn't have checked on
Scaper.
my stimulus check today.
We got him,
I was
Joe.
the one who installed it on your computer. I installed Scaper just now during the stream. That was me. I got you. You're hacked.
Skateboard
But yeah.
demo available now. Remember, check it out.
There you go. Use offer code cheesy in checkout to get 10% off. There we go.
We might have that somewhere. CheesyControllerPodcast.com. You can find that. And you can go there to follow us around the internet. You can follow me on Twitter at Anton6, 3X's. Chris, where can people find you?
Chefing Chris.
Jalen?
Squid Bishop.
Madrid?
Speedwagon X.
All right, Ian. Plug all your shit. Plug it
All right.
all. It's all
All
good.
right.
Don't
All right,
let
you can
anyone
follow
tell you
me.
otherwise.
You can follow me at Senator Bernie Sanders on Twitter. No, you can follow me on Twitter. That's at IanWhyNot, IanWhyNot. You can follow me on Twitch. Same shit. IanWhyNot. You can follow me on YouTube. I think I have a custom URL. Try it. Just type in IanWhyNot in the search bar. You'll find me. And I also do an anime podcast, which is coming back this week. It's called A+ Anime. And we also started a YouTube channel. Most recent video is talking about why Dr. Stone is the most underrated manga that is out right now. So I go and highly recommend checking that out. And I think that's everything that I do. Yeah, I hope that's everything I do, I guess. Oh, no, I sell anime shirts as well. New anime shirts dropping this Friday as well with the first episode of A+ Anime returning. We have a Haikyuu shirt that's out. We got a One Piece shirt that's out as well. I hope that's it. Yeah, I got pots, or I got hands in a bunch of different pots. I'm doing fucking everything. So if you see me on the
Pots in
internet,
all your hands. What?
What, bro?
yeah, exactly. I got my hands in every single pot in the kitchen. I'm touching all the soup. But yeah, you'll if you follow me on Twitter, you'll find the shit that I do. But again, the only real plug that I want is the plug for you guys, because y'all give me a place to scream about anime. I owe you guys a lot for that. I appreciate that.
Thanks for coming through. Like, getting
Yeah.
your perspective on things. I'm like,
Right, you elevate the
good
conversation between from what it was of just like, hey, I read Dr. Stone this week, to like, holy shit, fucking Dr. Stone is the most big brain shit ever. The aliens are coming down. Like,
Now, that first day we just sat down and just vented about Chainsaw Man.
I've not caught it.
Oh god,
Yes.
that was the start.
Chainsaw Man.
Look, Chainsaw Man. I've gone through. I read Fire Punch and Chainsaw Man last year, and I feel a type of way.
Yeah,
about it.
you have depression now. I'm sorry to tell you. That manga gave you it.
No, I already had that shit. I'm just in an abusive relationship with that writer. I keep coming back, and he keeps hurting.
Oh
me.
yeah. Wait for the next arc, baby. It's coming. Look at that. Oh, look at that beautiful arc.
What? I'm waiting for the next art. I'm
Yo,
sitting
wait,
there just
why?
like, come on, baby.
I know this is a podcast now. It is visual in the present, but in the future you can't see it. Why does the first cover of the Chainsaw Man Tankobon look like the Nickelodeon colors? Put it back up to the camera again. Why are they Nickelodeon, my man, like that?
All cute and cuddly.
They wanted it to pop, brother.
I guess
They
that's
had to make
true.
it pop.
I would see this shit on a shelf, not even knowing what Chainsaw Man is, and buy this shit. That's why they did this.
100%. But yeah, shout out to y'all.
This has been a Know It's Good production. The video version is edited by Lana Twisted Mind. The audio version is edited by Akumasanti. Until next time, keep it cheesy.
Yay.
We did it!